But when I hear the music, I know just when anything can happen to me. Oh, I let go of everything I know and believe. I can't explain it. All I really know is I'm confounded and my heart's surrounded by a world of good company. I'm happy as I can be when I'm singing a song.
Diddle, 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 die. Diddle, 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 die. Oh, shalom, shalom, my friends, shalom, my enemies. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And I'm thrilled and delighted to be here with the singer and creator of that song. His name is Marcus Goldhaber. He is a nice Jewish boy. Seemingly still in his mother's basement there. I'm not sure where you are at that moment. But now, Marcus, if you could first of all, you are unmuted. Say something. Hello?
Hello?
There you are! Hello! I saw you laughing, but it was silently. I thought, oh my God, the man's deaf. No.
Well, I like to start my Saturdays with a little silent laughter.
This is a
Nice
great
way to
latest.
go.
So I see playbills behind you. What is that thing right behind you that's coming out of the wall like a sarcophagus? What the hell is that thing?
This is some Aztec art.
Ooh!
It's not maybe it is a sarcophagus. I'm not sure.
And then what play? I can't see. David and I are theater people. What was that? The show you ran about Harold Arlen? What playbill is that?
This is a show called Smokey Joe's Cafe.
Oh yeah.
The playbill is autographed by a friend of mine who was one of the writers and creators of the show, Mike Stoller.
Yeah. Wait a minute. You know Mike Stoller.
I do. Yes.
How's he doing? I mean, this is Lieber and Stoller, for crying out loud.
For crying out loud, it's Lieber and Stoller.
How did you meet Mike Stoller?
Stoller in this case. I met Mike Stoller and his wife Corky Hale many years ago. Traveling. It was in another country, and we were traveling. I was on vacation with my parents, and we all met and we hit it off. And I think they actually maybe met my parents first, and then I was introduced later, as is the case in these situations.
The same way I was introduced to my wife. Yes.
Wow. Okay. And so then we just hit it off, and we stayed in touch and stayed friends ever since. He's been an incredible friend and support and guide throughout my journey as a songwriter, as you can imagine.
Yes. Is he alive and well, God willing? I mean,
yes,
you know.
Absolutely.
This is amazing. This is wonderful. This is, oh my God. I didn't. So who else? I love hearing, tell me stories about famous people that you know.
Well, that's a pretty broad question.
Or they can be men or broads, either one.
I mean, I don't know. You said you're theater people.
Well, theater, film, music, certainly music.
I mean, I'm talking to a very famous person right now. So, I mean, the spectrum is wide, my friend.
I'm certainly on the spectrum. I think we've all seen that. Notice how jazzily I am caparisoned today. I've got the beret yarmulke askew. I've got this thing a flowy sort of tallis way. Huh?
You know, Judy Garland always said, "A hat ain't a hat without a tilt." So maybe you're inspired by that. And I never saw her wear a yarmulke.
Although Judy Garland, I won't take as a role model for anything.
Maybe, right? Who knows?
A pill isn't a pill until you've swallowed it. That was more her. No, but
wow, yeah, well,
wow. By the way, let me tell people a little bit.
My vitamins, thank you, Dave.
This is Marcus Goldhaber. Let me tell you, I didn't give you a proper introduction here. He has played everywhere from Carnegie Hall to the Cutting Room, 54 Below to the Friars Club. His jazzy albums include a mix of standards and his own compositions. He was in, as we mentioned, an off-Broadway show called The Wonderful Wizard of Song, which was Harold Arlen. And
one of my favorites. He's someone I wish I'd have met.
Well, you know his kid, because his kid put the show together.
I know Sam Arlen. Yes, absolutely.
So tell me, did Sam Arlen...
I didn't want to interrupt your fabulous introduction, though, which I did. I'm sorry.
Yes, you did. You're Jewish.
Please, go on. Talk about me some more.
Yes. But enough about me. What do you think of me? So, he's a MAC Award nominee. That's at Cabarets and Clubs. organization. And are you still doing the podcast Mondays with Marcus on YouTube, or did you?
Yes, no, no, no. We finished season one. I was very late to the game with starting a live stream. I don't know how long you've been doing Dave's Gone By.
You mean you haven't been watching for the last 20 years?
I mean, 15, but I didn't know that if you had gone beyond your
Yeah.
oeuvre is so gigantic, it's hard to keep up. So,
Oh,
um,
yes. It's a bowel movement. Yes. I don't even know what that
so
means.
I I was pretty late to the game with it, and so by the time I was, introducing the live stream, it was like everyone had been like, "Oh, that thing." They had already been doing it, but I did get 13 episodes in towards over the summer months, and we had a blast with that. I wrote a theme song for it.
It's
Um,
funny, too. I like that song.
Oh, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
glad you heard it. So we had a blast with that, and then we're right now in a little bit of a in between series break. The writers, I won't let them out of the writers' room. There, I said, give me ideas. I need more ideas. Um,
This
and
is true.
so we are. You know what it's like, of course.
Absolutely. No, but you're going to do more. You are thinking
Yes, we're gonna
you
come
have a
back with
guest on there,
season
you play
two.
some music, they sing. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a great format because I found that because I didn't cling right away to the idea of putting together a show and just singing to tracks for 45 minutes or an hour, and that I just didn't connect with that medium straight on, and so I wanted to engage my fellow colleagues that I missed communicating with and making music with, and just see how their lives were going, get a peek behind the curtain, how they were doing, give them a chance to sing a tune. Maybe we'd try, I would do something. Usually would be having a keyboard nearby or whatnot. So I would play and sing a bit and have some shtick involved and just to kind of give people a chance to connect. I felt like the connection was what was really missing. And we kept it very loose and unscripted, hence the title of the show, A Live Stream of Consciousness. Never knew what was going to happen. We went off on a Mars tangent for a couple of episodes, which was always fun.
Oh,
Um,
usually I go off on Uranus. That's just me.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I go there. Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
morning, Dave.
But let me add, no, this is Rabbi Sol here.
Oh,
David's.
excuse me. I see Dave's gone by behind you, so I guess Dave's just gone. It's not Dave's
Yeah,
gone.
he's gone by, and he gets the Jugapilin on Shabbos.
This
So,
is
but let me ask you. Here's a question. Now, I have one thing
ask me
about this,
anything.
because, like, if you have, I don't know how they've been doing this. Like when they had the Sondheim tributes and all. When he was 90, they put a tribute. What, like, you are there and you're going to play piano, and then you have somebody else on Zoom who wants to sing a song with you. How does it? How do you not have that 2 second delay where they're singing while you're playing? How does that work?
Well, there are a lot of different programs that came out through the peak months of the pandemic, and there was one in particular that came out that we were able to finally use. Most of it was with delay. So I was rarely playing and accompanying someone else while they were, remote. But so they were mostly playing either for themselves or to a track. However, there was one program that I was able to find, and this was a pretty profound experience because it had been about, at this point, over a year since I had had that beautiful connection with another live musician. And so, thanks to a couple of friends a friend of mine who has their own network, basically, that they were able to plug into. And so that decreased the latency, or what you were saying with that delay, that 2 second delay, to really like nanoseconds. So it wasn't perfect, but it was as close as you can get to real live sound. And so, but that moment, and they were on the other end actually playing for me. It was a pianist on the other end playing through this program that I was able to then listen and hear in real time and get musical feedback, like the good kind of feedback.
Yeah.
And I, in those first 8 bars, in hearing that sound in real time and making that connection, I lost it. I lost my emotional control, and it was beautiful, and it just really overtook me, and I realized how much I missed that bond that is
Well,
created in moments.
here's the deal. Last week you played live at Room 623. You're going to be there again this Friday night at
Yes.
7 and 8:30 p.m. But was last week your first return to playing in a club with humans?
Yes. Yeah, I've had rooms full of pets of all shapes and sizes, but humans, first one for sure. So what happened at Room 623, which is this beautiful speakeasy jazz club that I launched back in 2019 as host and MC, and then it took off, and then we had to shut down 11 months later, and then took an 18-month break, and then we reopened the doors October 1st, and
Oh,
spent the past couple of months getting it up on the up on its feet again, in only pretty much the host MC role. Maybe I sing a little here and there, whatever, but not a show. And so then this past Thursday night, you're right, I did a my first show in 22 months, and I'm telling you, Rabbi, it was incredible. It really it was a transcendent experience, to be sharing my music with, to quote you, fellow humans. And I have another show coming up this next Thursday, 7 and 8:30.
wait, Thursday or Friday? Oh,
It's Thursday. My show is Thursday.
Scheisse. Oops.
That's okay. The schedule for the club, we do every Friday night, with the early set and late set. But my show will be on Thursday, as a special engagement, if you will.
Yeah.
And I'll be
Yeah.
there with a great trio, and we're just gonna have a blast, and continue that fun. But to be back with an audience and experiencing that spontaneous bliss is pretty indescribable.
Now, when the audience are they all masked sitting there because it's New York and they have to? Is that
Yeah,
the deal?
yeah. So the one thing that allowed the club to reopen, was that there is a ventilation system, that a new ventilation system that was put in. It's this ultraviolet ventilation system, which I know is the real reason why you wanted to talk this morning. It was about ventilation, but it's the really was the center point and the cornerstone of why the club was able to reopen, because it's a speakeasy. It's
If you know
downstairs.
me, you know there's nothing I like more than venting. So this it fits. It does fit actually. Yes.
That's why I brought it up. I mean,
Yes.
I did my research basically. So yes, people are masked, except when, of course, they're eating or drinking or blowing their horn or singing, and it's a very respectful environment. It's lots of compassion, and some people they're wearing their masks and then they take them off to eat, and people keep their masks on the whole night. It's a beautiful mix of understanding.
I mean, I go back to the days when, pre-pandemic, when I could sit in a restaurant and pick my nose and wipe it on the tablecloth, and then nobody said a word. They would move, but nobody cared. It was fine, and now you can't even do that. It's so sad. It's. But let me ask you, you found this space, and you say, "Hey, I'm a jazz singer. I love this kind of music," but you are very obviously a white Jew. You
Yes.
go and you find a club of all places, 119th Street, literally in Harlem. How did you conquer your fear of Schwarzes to do this?
Well, I don't really have one.
Good,
Um,
no,
But
yes.
here's how it all started. I've been wanting to create this kind of positive healing space, for people to gather and celebrate live jazz for over a decade, and I just hadn't found the right venue. And I've done little series here and there for a year or two at a time at different non-traditional venues, whether it be spaces inside of hotels or different event spaces, or clubs or whatnot, to kind of curate this type of experience, and it just hadn't really fit right. And so, fast forward to, or rewind in this case, to 2018. It was the winter months, and I'm walking along around my neighborhood. I live up in Harlem, and so I've been up here for 21 years, and I'm walking around the neighborhood thinking, well, maybe there's some place new that I haven't heard or seen, and that would be a nice fit. So I'm walking around one night. It's around 11 o'clock at night, and I see these lights on an awning on 119th Street. And in 21 years, and this is New York, it's a city of neighborhoods and streets. It's tiny, so in that way, and so like you could spend your whole life in a certain area and not know about things around the corner. So that's how this all. So I see these awning lights, and I go down this street. I'm like, let me check this place out. And it turns out it's a restaurant, and it looks cute upstairs. And I was like, oh well, maybe I'll come back and check it out sometime. But then I see this sign on the door as I'm walking away. It says, "Are you naughty?" And it's holiday season, so I figure, oh, they probably had a holiday party. But I turned to my friend who I was walking with. I was like, well, yeah, I'm naughty. Why not? Sure. So I pull on the door to see if it's open. I'm intrigued, and it was unlocked. And so I I went in, even though the stools were up on the tables and they were closing down, and I was, oh, excuse me, I just was popping by. This person was counting checks at the bar, and she says, come on in, come on in. What do you want? You want a drink? It's like, it's no problem, whatever. It's like home. That's, in essence, a little taste of Harlem, right? And
Yeah.
so you, we're walking. She's like, well, what are you doing around? And she said, well, I told her what I was looking to do and create this concept. And she says, well, we used to do music up here. What do you think? It's a nice space, da da da. And I said, well, I don't really want to be at a restaurant. She says, well, okay, we do have a space downstairs. And I said, really? I'd love to come back and see it. And she says, well, how about now? And I said to myself, well, it's 11:30 at night. I don't really know you. You want me to come down to your basement? What could possibly go wrong? And
Well,
so,
but the thing is, she was the girl, you were the boy. She had more fear from you, really, but God bless her, she didn't.
for
So
sure, for
yeah.
sure. So anyway, we went downstairs in the dead of winter. It was freezing cold, and she
But
flipped
but
out.
but she warmed you with the rape. So this was no, I'm kidding.
Wow,
I'm kidding.
wow.
Yes.
Good morning, Rabbi. Okay, so
So you went downstairs and she
we went
showed you, and it
downstairs.
was
She flipped on the lights, and right away I saw everything happen right in front of me. I saw this, everything just, the vision of everything just appeared, and so I said, let's talk in the new year, and we did. We met, and 3 months later, we opened the doors. And we had a little, soft opening in March, and then we grand opened on April 5th, 2019. And we had, we didn't know who was going to come or what was going to happen. We started. My idea was to revive late night jazz in Harlem. This is what I experienced when I first moved here 21 years ago. I used to hang out at this club called Saint Nick's Pub, which opened in the 40s, and then it became something else called Dude's Lounge, and then it reopened again as Saint Nick's Pub, and it was a staple uptown for about, I don't know, 40, 50 years. And then it tragically burned down
oh,
about 15 years ago. And
well, Saint Nick came and look at the reindeer. The hooves were going so fast
it's
it
all
hit there, went
all
yeah.
because of Christmas, which is fitting that I found this place during holiday season, and that's what it's all about, synchronicity. So anyway, that's pretty much how it all got started, and then the rest. We opened the doors, momentum really took off. That hunger for late night jazz is alive still, and people want to come out and be in a positive space and feel and get a taste of that jazz joy, and having a
Well, let me.
blast.
But it's not really late night. I mean, your shows are at 7 and 8:30 at night. I
My
wouldn't call that late night.
Well, hold on a minute. My
Oh,
show is at 7 and 8:30, but when we started out, I branded a night called the Late Set, and we'd start out every Friday night at 10 o'clock, and we'd go until whenever. It
right. Yeah.
ended up being around 1 o'clock, which was fine to feel out what everyone's space for that was in their lives, and from 10 to 1 every Friday night, and then towards the end of the 11 months that we had, then we things were overflowing so much that we added on, wait for it, the early set. And so we had the late set, the early set. The early set started at 7 o'clock, and then we do that, and then we transition over and segue into the late set. So a full night of jazz every
Now, let me
Friday.
ask you, Marcus Goldhaber. I want to ask you, well, a whole bunch of things, but staying on this. So you are what, the co-owner of the club, or do you pay rent to the restaurant? I mean, who does what? And is this your day job? I mean, is your job now running this club and trying to make a living? Selling drinks and playing jazz.
So I'm not the owner. I'm the creative director, host, and MC is the official title,
Right.
and I'm very much still involved in my singer and songwriting career, and so I spend maybe half the week at or more sometimes at Room 623, especially just in these initial months as we've just opened the doors, reopened the doors, and so I spend a lot of my time there. I have a team that I work with that helps with all the other creative elements. But I don't really touch the hospitality side. The owner takes care of all of that side of things. I stay pretty much in my creative lane, and
Well, no, we have one of our friends of the neighborhood is, I'm sure you know him, a fellow named Sidney Meyer, who is the booking guy for Don't Tell Mama.
sure.
But I mean, he doesn't own Don't Tell Mama. He deals with who comes in there and plays. And then the amazing thing is, he's a cabaret performer himself. But then he goes to play Pangea. I'm like,
Right.
you got your own space. Why do you have to go to Pangea for? But this is the weird way that these things work, I guess.
Well, he'll play his own club, he'll play other places, and I think it's, every club has their own personality, And so sometimes you're putting a show together that fits in one club and maybe fits better in that than it does in the other club. And so, every artist has their own story, has their own journey, and and that's for me right now. It's really nice synchronicity to, it lines up to be playing and doing my show at 623. I also love the space, and it fits with a lot of. It's a very immersive, close space, which is wonderful for me. I love to be right up close to the audience, and so I can tell what they've ordered for dinner.
I mean, do you still go to, or have you gone, I'm sure you've gone to places like the Blue Note, or is the Village Vanguard even still there? I don't know if that got killed,
Sure,
or
sure.
it's still there.
The Vanguard's still around, yeah. And absolutely, I go to all the clubs. I play at the clubs. I mean, it's been 22 months, but before then, I was all around town doing, wherever, traveling for gigs, anywhere the gig is. Yeah, of course.
Now, I see you generally as a vocalist. Are you're a piano guy too?
I play the
Or
piano. I don't. I mean, during these past year and a half, I've probably gotten a lot more confident and comfortable accompanying myself. But primarily, I've been using the piano for songwriting and just playing at home. But yeah, so I am typically standing up at the mic.
so, or by the way, where are you? That is not a New York apartment. What the hell is that? Is that a or is a Harlem? That is a Harlem apartment, or
This
what
is
is?
my
Or
bunker. This is my bunker. That's why I padded the roof here.
yeah, I'm wondering about that.
Well, no, this is my sound studio. This is another sort of peak pandemic project of mine. I have a room in my apartment that I used to rent out um, years ago, and just on a regular sort of a survival tactic here in New York, and then you know about a few years ago I stopped renting it out, and then I've been using it for other things. And then when it came time for us to be inside all the time and be isolated, I also do voiceovers, and I'm recording from time to time as well. And so I decided to turn this space into a recording studio and also a live sound studio. And so I got lots of equipment in here and do wall treatments and whatnot to
Yeah,
kind
I'm
of.
not seeing carpeting on the or eggshell containers on the wall things.
That
Are,
costs extra to get that kind of a tour, but it is here, and I have some great sound absorbing material, and turned. I have this great space that's inside this room that I was able to convert into a recording booth, and so I'm able to actually, and I was able to record the theme song that you had listened to my show. Everybody loves a perfect theme song, which I wrote as like an homage to TV theme show songs. Um, and that was recorded in the booth. And I've done a couple other recordings that haven't been released yet, and all remote. And been able to do voiceover work and whatnot. So that's where we are now, and it sort of evolved into this video element when I decided I was going to be doing this live stream Mondays with Marcus, and so it's all layered.
no, it's a very homey, it's a very cozy looking space. But I want to ask you, by the way, Marcus Goldhaber, he's talking about room 623 or 62. You got 623. Is that
I
how
call
you?
it 623. We've had people come in and say, you should call it room 623. And they're very passionate about this, and I don't know why. So people call it both. It's fine. It's like when people say, is this Goldhaber or Goldhaber? I said,
Is it?
It's Goldhaber. No, you're right.
It is
You're
Goldhaber. All right.
absolutely correct. But, if it makes you happy, well, it should, the German roots of you should Goldhaber. Okay, it's Gold for you.
But first of all, I want to tell people it's West 119th between what and what.
Yes, exactly. It's between what and what.
And,
Uh,
and
Take a left at who knows where and turn down the street at I don't know, and you're boom. But it's
your
on.
GPS will still find it. Yes.
Well, so yeah, so it's 271 West 119th Street between Frederick Douglass Boulevard and Saint Nick, and right in the heart of West Harlem. And it's right below a restaurant that you mentioned before. It's below the restaurant B Squared, and basically there's just a little sign outside that says jazz, and it's got a blue light around it, and then the door has another blue light above it. So we hashtag the whole experience. Look for the blue light.
Well, that's lovely. Look for the blue light on 271 West 109th Street. I'm sorry, 119th Street up in Harlem. But speaking of B Squared, speaking of, there's something a little bit square about playing jazz. It used to be the hippest thing. Now it's sort of a little. When you were growing up in Buffalo, New York, were you not influenced by rock and roll and pop and the bands that were coming out of there, and suddenly like, no, I'm digging like Sinatra and Mel Torme.
Right. So my influences were pretty much were very uh, they were varied growing up. Yes, in Buffalo, I mean, I would say that there was a heavy like I was influenced by bands like Pearl Jam and Guns N' Roses, and I was really into the Doors. Still am, big Doors fan, and Fish and Grateful Dead. Um, so all of these more alternative and kind of even the grunge scene. I love that music. I still do.
Wow.
However, I was also growing up alongside a 1928 Iverson Pond upright that my mom learned to play the piano on when she was a kid, and played every night and every day of my childhood. So after school, I would be at the kitchen table doing my homework, and she'd be playing "If You Knew Susie Like I Knew Susie," but I
Oi,
didn't know the lyrics.
oi, oi,
Right,
yeah.
I didn't know the lyrics, and I'm hearing these melodies, and she would, invariably every day at some point, she would interrupt my math homework. How dare she? And say, "Hey, hey, do you know this song?" And she'd play. Dun, dun, ba, ba, doo, dee, 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 dee. And
Anyone? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm 12. Do I know this song? Of course I don't know this song. And she said, "Oh, come here, come here." So, a break from my math homework, which I reluctantly took, of course. I sit next to her on the piano, and she'd just play through that song and maybe five others that she just grew up hearing because my grandparents were playing it on the same piano when she was growing up. And or these were songs just playing on the radio when she was in the back seat of the car on a drive somewhere. So that and she wasn't raising me like it wasn't like Gypsy. It wasn't like I was gonna be a star. Like this is just
Just
passing
wanted to
on
share her. She loved the
her
music.
childhood. This is
Yeah.
parenting 101, right? She's just sharing with her child. So that really was the backdrop of my childhood alongside these other, incredible artists, whether it's Nirvana, Pearl Jam, The Doors, who
Well,
knows?
here's it. Most kids would have gone into their teens and their late teens and 20s and gone towards, okay, your mom played these things, but you want to be in a band, wailing out on a guitar, being Eddie Vedder or someone like that, or Foo Fighters, whatever the hell they are. So, and oh, sorry, I just made a fool of myself. But here's it. But you didn't go. You didn't want to be in a rock band. You kind of went this other direction, yes,
Yeah,
or not, or did you try the
I
rock band?
never tried the rock. The closest I got to rock band is when I, in the eighth grade, did an air band routine to Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, and we won. It was wonderful. I had this. It was a pink foam guitar, and I mean, I nailed it. I mean, it was like, oh my goodness. Anyway, but I never got the rock bug. I just, I loved the music. The Doors, when I first heard them, made sense to me, and I think that when you hear a band that sounds familiar to you but you've never heard them before, that's the connection. That's
I
that's
think
a
you're.
lifelong.
I do believe you are the only person to whom the Doors lyrics actually do make sense. Because the lizard ceremony coming through the rise. Like, what the fuck are you talking?
Yeah.
But the music is great. Yeah.
I think the music and the poetry, I think it was, for me, it's funny you mentioned the lyrics because I feel like Jim Morrison's lyrics, well, the music was seamless to me, right? I could almost musically predict what was coming, and that's just what was calming and exciting about it. And the lyrics pushed me mentally, right? Still do. You still dive into Jim Morrison's lyrics and go, oh yeah, what was he? Oh, okay. And you can read about how people have analyzed and whatnot, or just let it wash over you. There's been a lot of inspiration for me as a songwriter from Jim Morrison.
But have you ever tried to take those kinds of songs and put them in a jazzy? I could hear like Blue Sunday being a song that would fit very nicely in a jazz quartet or quintet
You know,
feel. You know.
yeah, there I to reimagine the Doors has been something that's on my list for quite a while.
Hmm.
It's a project that I am. It's there are projects that you kind of chip away at throughout your life until finally you carve out the time to say, you know what, I'm going to actually sand this down and make this a show or a project of some kind. So I haven't yet gotten there. But there have been a couple of tunes that I've wanted, Crystal Ship or Love Street. Love Street's an obvious one. It's swinging and
Hey, hey, die, 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 die.
well, those are the original lyrics. That's
It really was.
I'm
This is the end, my beautiful friend. The end. Yeah.
that's
I want to get before we. It's amazing. We have just about 5 minutes before Dave has to come back and start doing this whole trivia quiz that
oh
Marcus
good.
Goldhaber is going to be
Haber Haber.
playing
That's
with
what they called me in
them.
college.
No, they didn't. They did not. But I want to ask you because so many entertainers, so many people, not just real people instead of entertainers, they have this thing where they have to have the conversation with mommy and daddy, and they say, "Mom, Dad, and it's like, or sometimes they never have the guts to say it. Mom, Dad, I'm coming out as gay." You had that conversation, but in reverse. Am I right?
I'm
Am
not
I
so
confusing you with
sure.
someone else?
You might be. Yeah, you might be. I'm
Didn't,
not sure.
didn't your daddy have a conversation with you?
Oh, well, I didn't know what you meant by reverse. So, like if I had to sit down with my parents and say, "Mom, Dad, I'm straight. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say this to you in other words, but that's what I thought you meant." But
No, I
yeah,
meant the other, literally the shoe on the other, or
yeah.
the high heel on the other foot, if you will.
No,
So,
no, no. Shoe is appropriate. Yeah, no, that was yes, that happened. Yeah,
so
we had that
was it?
conversation.
Did you?
So,
Did you?
um,
I mean, in other words, you grow up, you got a mommy, you got a daddy, and suddenly daddy says,
yes, well, it was it was definitely a surprise. My sister and I were together, and with my dad when we talked about it, and um, it's something that I'm actually looking back on. It was a very difficult time because it was a new reality for all of us. But I think it speaks to the strength of our family because we we stuck together in those moments when it was really hard, and we said, okay, we're gonna figure this all out, and together. And this isn't about my sister and I are incredibly and always have been from day one supportive of him. It was more about you thinking that life is one way and then realizing, okay, things are substantially different.
"Yeah,
And
I thought I was Episcopalian for the first 8 years. What a shock!
right,
Just
me
freaked
too,
me the hell
me
out."
too,
Now,
right.
what is yours? Are you? Where are you? Do you have a wife, husband, or what's your situation? If you don't mind my asking.
I'm unmarried, and I'm in a wonderful relationship that I've been in for the past 3 years.
Mazel, can you say is it a musician person or is it what?
She's an actress. She's a very talented actress,
Would we
and
know her? Has she been on, off, or near
sure,
Broadway?
sure, you would know her. Her name is Cher. No, I'm kidding. Her her name her name is Shireen Bab, and she is currently in a production of It's a Wonderful Life at Hartford Stage that just opened up last night. She's been on Broadway and Macbeth and Harry Potter, and she's had a whole slew of wonderful projects that she's been a part of. She's launching. I don't even know if I can say this publicly yet, so I'm not gonna spill the beans. But you can have her on your show if you want. But she's starting an incredible new business that oh, I teased this out and I can't even really talk about it yet. I have an NDA that I won't be able to open the door again to my own home if I talk about. But it's a very incredible. She's an entrepreneur and a really smart businesswoman as well. And she's a teacher and she does voiceover. She's incredibly talented.
Shireen Bab. We got to be on the lookout for this one. So let me ask you.
She's
Okay,
been on TV too. You'd love that. She's done lots of TV
yes.
shows. She was in Madam Secretary and Blue Bloods and
All right. So she's way above your league, obviously.
way above my league.
When you first met her, what did you have a line? How did you hook the Bab?
Oh, it was a questionnaire. I said, fill this out. Yes box, no box, maybe box. Um, Shireen and I met in college. Actually, we go back 150 years, and we went to college together at SUNY Fredonia. And so we were kicking around in our 20s, growing up together, and in the same BFA musical theater program. And so then, you know, we, excuse me, we graduated, kind of went our separate ways, had our separate lives, and then it was a reconnection story. And so we reconnected about a dozen years later, and you know, stayed in each other's lives, and then you crisscross, you weave in and out until one of the days it just
Well, and that's when you get a hotel room. But let me also ask you before our guests come in, who are already late. So I'm wondering what's happening with them. But let me. Um,
It is
Last
shows.
week, especially, we were talking about the passing of Stephen Sondheim, and you being a musician and jazz, even though he was musical theater world, of course. Do you have any thoughts? Do you have a favorite Sondheim song? Do you have any? Did you ever meet him? Something Sondheimian, please share.
Yeah, my relationship with Stephen Sondheim's music goes back to the very beginning. I started out as a musical theater kid, and that's my roots. Those are my roots. You know, you talk about my childhood influences. My sister, when I was getting into high school, you know, she gave me. She's my elder sister, though she doesn't look it. She says to me, you know, make sure and do the shows. They're really fun. You'll have a great time. She did the shows, but it wasn't again like because you're gonna be an actor, you're gonna be a star, you're gonna go into theater. It's just it was fun. She did it, you know, as a hobby. She loved it, and she was in all of them, and so I did too. And I really stuck to it, and it really clung to me, and I clung to it. And the musical theater um, repertoire is really at the center of I think a lot of my musical being. And so I did the shows in high school. I went on to major in college. And then for the first 5 years or so living in New York, I was all about musical theater and straight work too. I did a lot of straight plays and comedies, and I mean I just loved it. It was
Wait. Please share. And also, I need to keep talking. I need to check something. But tell, what were you in? Because I just know from the Arlen
yeah,
how
the
long.
Arlen. That was the last one of the last shows that I did. But I did a lot of stuff off Broadway, some at theaters that don't even exist anymore. I got
Like
one.
what? Like what? Tell
The
specific
Bowery.
examples.
One was I did the Three Penny Opera at the Bowery Lane Theater, and
So that was Cocktail Rep that was in there, weren't they? Were you
Shoot,
part of
yes,
that?
Jean Cocteau. Yes, absolutely, Jean Cocteau theater rep, and that was my. I did a lot of work with them, and I got one of my favorite experiences being on the scene was I worked at the BMI writers' room, and you remember the show A Class Act? Do you know that
That's
show?
one of my. It was one of Dave's favorite musicals of the last 20 years. It's a magnificent. So
So the
Lonnie Price was
song,
in it, who was our friend of the
yes,
neighborhood. Yeah,
oh,
it's a
fantastic.
marvelous show. Yes,
So the song Fridays at 4.
yes. It wasn't really Fridays at 4. It's like another day of the week at another time. But he
That's what
called
I
it
was gonna
Fridays at 4 for the
I
show.
was
That's
gonna
all.
say it wasn't Fridays at 4, but that's the class that I was a part of on the
You were doing
writing.
the BMI, the Lehman Engel thing.
Yes, so I was in the Lehman Engel class as a performer, hobnobbing with all these writers who were putting together the shows of tomorrow. I was in the best time of my life because here I was, this young musical theater kid in New York, working in all these various shows and projects and auditioning every day of my life. And then I get to work with the songwriters who were putting out, I mean, all the great shows that
Well,
came out.
songwriters do put out if you ask them to. They're great for a Saturday night. Uh,
Thank you. So I'm singing these new songs from these new shows, and that really is one of my favorite experiences from that time in my life. And then I was just sitting in my studio one day, and then it just something clicked to me, and I was thinking to myself, there's something missing from what I'm doing, and that's when I connected back to my childhood and those moments sitting on the piano bench next to my mom, and that's when I realized I need my career to include that, to be really that have the be the primary focus. So my relationship with Sondheim started in those musical theater days. I've done a bunch of Sondheim shows. I've had the chance to be my favorite role was probably playing Frederick Agerman in Little
oh,
Red
and night
Riding
music, yeah.
Hood, and that was probably one of my favorite experiences. But as a songwriter, I mean, I have quotes of his all over my studio and that books that I've read and whatnot. He's had such a personal impact on me and so many people I know. When we lost him, even though he lived such a full life and he was 91, I think, or 92, and
No, it would have been lovely to have him another 91 years.
oh
But
gosh,
let me tell people
absolutely,
because I have to
yes, go
bring
ahead.
in the producer of this program, Dave, to do the next segment of this show. You are not going anywhere, Marcus Goldhaber, except of course on Thursday night you will be going to room 6 2, 3, and everybody's going to go there to see you at 7 and 8:30 p.m. It's over at 271 West 119th Street. So, bring weapons if you need them. But no, it's safe, it's fine, it's good. You go see Marcus Goldhaber in the room that he runs and that he does this wonderful show and this lovely music. Let me play a little more Marcus Goldhaber music as I bring Dave in and then the guests to play the quiz. Marcus, but let me just say, it's been absolutely a delight. You're such a charmer. You're so talented. It's so great to have you in the neighborhood. Thank you so much. Now, don't go away. Don't go away. The next voice you hear is going to be you. So.
Okay.
Just one more song, just one more dance, just one more kiss, just a bit more bliss, and one more chance for some more of you standing here with me. Just one more touch, I don't need that much, just one more song, just one more lips.
Yes, just one more song, and I think did you just say just one more lick? Because literally, David was just licking an envelope there. This is David Sheward, the former president of the Drama Desk, also the managing editor at one point of Backstage, and now a writer and blogger and theater critic. So are you in a barber chair, David? What's with the white smock? And make sure you unmute. Unmute.
This is just my bathrobe.
Oh, yeah, don't feel you have to dress up for this program. No. Or for our marvelous guest. That, by the way, David, is Marcus Goldhaber. He's a jazz musician. He'll be playing on Thursday at room 623 up on 119th Street. And Marcus has also done, I don't know, David, did you, I'm not putting you on the spot, but do you remember the wonderful Wizard of Song? It was a review tribute to Harold Arlen. He was in that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I remember that, yes.
And he also did a Macbeth. Where was the Macbeth? Did you say that?
I didn't do Macbeth.
Oh, that was your lovely lady friend. Yes.
No, she did the Ethan Hawke Macbeth.
Oh,
He's right
yes, Broadway. On Broadway.
I thought it was Tai Chi, David, or some kind of Qigong outfit. No.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be in Sweeney, and he's just getting
I'm getting my outfit for getting ready for the slashing.
Swing your pen wide, critic. But anywho, we're also joining us momentarily. Getting on with us is our other contestant, Leslie Hoban Blake. She is also a theater critic as well as a theatrical director. I'm hoping she's going by phone so we can actually hear and see her. Meanwhile, how is your week, David Sheward?
Requirements of people, David.
Okay. I had a crazy idea that if Sondheim wanted to do a sequel to Assassins, it could be about the parents of assassins, including the couple in Michigan who...
Yeah, they're getting arrested at the moment.
Yeah, they got and I could just imagine a musical scene with them in the car driving away, abandoning their son, and leaving him in jail while they're the ones. While I think that would be a great musical. I
still blame the son a little bit more than them. Lots of people buy guns and their children don't end up firing them into other people. It's a tiny bit negligent, but hello.
Hi, Leslie. Yes, but, evidently they were called to the school that day and told, this kid's got a problem.
Oh, Leslie, unmute Leslie. Hit that little button.
You can ask her to unmute, David.
I'm doing, yeah, I've got it.
You would think I would know by now. Am I on?
Yeah. You are absolutely on. Leslie Hoban Blake. Leslie, you are on with David Sheward and with Marcus Goldhaber, the jazz musician. Hello, Leslie.
Hi, Marcus.
See, I got some handsome men to talk to.
Yes, I'm very happy to be here. It's worth getting up for.
Oh,
I bring a present. Well, I bring the weirdest present I have ever seen. I can't give it to you personally, but are you ready?
I am ready, I think.
It says Boom Shakalatka.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And it is a waffle maker on which you can make a dreidel face.
Yes!
I know.
Save that for Rabbi Sol. Oh my gosh. No, David,
I just want to tell you, it's made by Dash, and I got it at Target, and it was on sale for $10. So, do you have a Target near you?
Well, we order online, so we would absolutely.
Okay, if you can't find one,
yeah.
She found it already?
No, but she found my sweater from last year, just appropriate for the season.
That's your great. Oh, adorable.
That's comedy right there. That's Jewishness, as well as this mug that Joyce got me this year. It's yeah, huh?
I get it.
Did you see all the various things I sent out? David Sheward, I might not have sent them to you.
Yeah,
I did not send them to my non-Jewish friends. I sent out 10. Years ago, everybody would go, all we got is a Hanukkah bush. Hanukkah's boring. There's nothing you can do. 10 either children's books or incredible cards. One of them was a dreidel like that with all the leftover candles in the house. So one of them is a number 5 from the 5th birthday. And one of them is a taper. And one of them is a sparkler from 4th of July. And it's all 8 of them are all different. It's so funny. And children's books. The one I wasn't sure about was Peppa Pig Explains.
Oh, I love the Peppa Pig Hanukkah book.
Peppa Pig Explains Hanukkah, and I thought somehow that doesn't jive in my head.
Yeah, any other animal but a pig would be appropriate, but not.
Yes, actual, I'm finished now. That was my show and tell. I'm sorry. Good morning.
David, you were going to say?
I was just going to say, I noticed on Marcus's wall is a framed playbill from Smokey Joe's Cafe.
He knew it immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, were you in that show?
He explained, well, you can say,
no,
yeah.
I wasn't in it, but Mike Stoller is a friend, and so it's a little autographed playbill from Mike, and just some well wishes from him and Corky.
Did you see both versions?
I only saw this one's from the '90s, so
right. Well, I loved it originally, but I loved it even more the revival. I thought that the revival gave it a real storyline. The other one was a collection of songs. But the one on 42nd Street was, I thought, really had a storyline to it and the music is fine without the storyline, but having a storyline makes it a play,
Right, yeah.
So anyway.
And by the way, Marcus, your homework assignment is to get Mike Stoller on this program because, my gosh, he's Mike friggin' Stoller. So yes, if you can hook me up with him, that would be, much, much appreciated.
Does he realize that he gets hooked up with you, but he gets to meet Rabbi Sol? Does he know that? Does he know how that works?
It's a forced twofer.
Right?
It's a Jewish. Even if you don't want the deal, you have to have it.
And if you're theater people, you know what a twofer is anyway. So that would be the thing. So Marcus, welcome again to the neighborhood. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. Hi, Marcus. Welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you. You look like someone I know, and I can't place it. I don't know.
Roderick?
Something's missing. I don't know if it's Brad Pitt, maybe, but I don't know.
It could be. It could be because so many people think I'm the Pitts.
David,
so.
That's your 3%, honey.
Yes, I'm 3% black. Thanks, hon. That's my wife saying, yeah, I look sort of like 3% like Brad Pitt. Thank you very much, darling.
Aryan.
Is that what came back when you did the test for the DNA tracing? It came back and said you're 3% Brad Pitt. Congratulations.
What? Who's doing that? What is that?
I'm sorry. I hit a button by mistake. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was you. I thought that was Joyce making all those sounds.
I hit the wrong button. I was trying to close a tab, and I hit a CNN commercial, and that was a commercial.
You have sound effects tabs on your computer? I'm impressed.
I'm trying to close them.
I've never had any good luck closing a tab because, once you open the can, you can't. But I don't even know what that means.
That's aging yourself. You were referring to the soda.
I am referring to this.
Hey, could I get a tab, please?
Yeah. No.
Do you know what you're in for, Marcus? Has he told you what you're in for?
Well,
I'm experieing this.
About to explain.
In a moment. This is
it's
all unraveling like a wonderful big.
There are things that happen in the world. There's COVID, there's 9/11, and then there's the Today Yesterday quiz that we do every Saturday here on Dave's Gone By. So let me explain. The rules, thank God, are simple.
Not really.
Yes, they are. They're incredibly simple.
Very easy.
So here's the deal. There's trivia questions. Okay. There's 10 of them. Well, 9 of them, and then a tiebreaker if we need it. But we do the tiebreaker no matter what. Right. Everybody gets a question.
Don't even bother explaining it in that case.
Okay. And each question is worth 2 points if you get it right. If you get it wrong, there's no penalty, but one of the other contestants gets the opportunity to answer and get those 2 points. Cool. That really, up until we get to the tiebreaker, that's pretty much it. Except, Marcus, since you are our newest guest in the neighborhood, can I kindly ask you to choose a number between 1 and 6 and tell me what it is.
Thank God you said between 1 and 6, because 6 was what I wanted to choose, and I would have been heartbroken if it was 1 and 5. So 6, please.
He's a guest. It's all right. He's a guest.
Leslie always takes 6. So
it's all right, Marcus. I cede you 6 for the day. It's okay.
Oh, is 6 your number? I didn't.
No, it's okay. I have another number.
I
have another number.
What is your number, Leslie? What number?
You're asking me now?
Yeah.
Number 2. I can even say that to you, David. That's my gift to you today.
Thank you very much. Yes, because
she was your best shot. Go ahead.
All right.
Well, no. I took my best shot with a number 2 this morning. That's why I have Megan Musil. David Sheward, your number would be
3.
3. David Sheward with a 3.
Dave,
Settling up with me this time, David. You never do that.
Do you see the synchronicity that's just happened?
What?
No. What?
We all just chose 6, 2, 3. I just.
Oh! Wow!
I just had to point that out.
By sheer, because the club that Marcus plays out and helps run and he books for is Room 623
great.
in Harlem. That's the actual name of the club.
Yeah.
And he'll be there on Thursday night.
Okay.
Wow, that's so cool.
Any free publicity is better than no publicity. So,
Thank you all for that. It's just like we rehearsed it.
119th Street and between
what up?
between St. Nicholas and what was it? It's between St. Nicholas and
Frederick Douglass Boulevard and St. Nick.
Okay.
Yeah, on
What's the
119th.
623 for? Ask him the significance.
Is it building 623 or what? No.
Yeah, so the reason it's 623 is the owner purchased the space on June 23rd.
All right, let's
Building Gemini or Cancer.
So the other thing, Marcus, and you don't have to do this now, but you will need, I forgot to mention, a pen or pencil or blood and a piece of scrap paper for later in the game for the tiebreaker. But you don't need it now. You can just grab any kind of scrap to write on. Are we ready to play the today, yesterday trivia quiz? And
Shua.
Yep.
Not Sheward. Shua.
And just one other thing, Marcus, so you know, the idea of the game is that nearly all of the questions have to do with something that happened in history on December 4th. So it could have been December 4th, 1920, December 4th, 1812, or 5 years ago. So, but the questions don't necessarily go where you think you're going to go. They have nothing to do with anything at all.
I specialize in nothing to do with anything.
Or tangential.
It's very wait, don't tell me, you know?
Exactly. Or if it's someone who likes to sunbathe nude, it's genitals. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the first question in our today, yesterday. Yes, thank you.
You're a regular Jan Murray.
I am going to roll the die. Boom! Beginner's luck, Marcus. You get to choose whether you want to go first, second, or third.
Oh, I'll go third.
The newbies always do this.
He
Marcus third.
knows David's system.
But he doesn't know that David has a system. This is a pure gut thing that he's doing.
And if you've ever had pure guts, you know how delightful they are.
Yeah.
Roll again, and it comes up number 3. So, David Sheward, would you like to go first or second?
Let me see. I will go second.
Whoa.
So now I'm forced to be first. I didn't want to be first, and now I'm forced to be first. Thank you so much. Okay,
That's the
I'll
game.
get you. David Sheward, I'll get you. And your little dog, too.
Leslie, somebody has to lead the way, honey.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah,
Leslie
right.
did share. One
I've learned playing this game that going first is not the best thing to do. But go
And this
ahead.
is my little duck. Are you going to get my?
Let's duck with
And
the
your
U.
little
right?
duck,
Yeah.
too.
I'm going to get my little duck too.
Yeah. And by the way, Leslie, you were so gorgeous. But you sent one of the pictures of you playing as Joanne in Company.
The only picture that exists, it was from a local newspaper. I didn't even know it was. Somebody sent it to me. I never even saw it before.
In came Company. No, I was just like, because you're taller than everybody else in the photo. And it's like, oh my God, it's Leslie. Holy crap.
Well, except the leading man. He was a very tall, skinny kid.
Well, there you go. All right, let us begin the quiz with you.
Thank you for the compliment. There was a compliment in there. Thank you for the
It was
compliment.
somewhere in there. Okay.
1985. That picture was taken in 1985. You know.
Wow. And
We
hey,
were
Leslie,
all
you're still
taller
being
then.
alive. So there you go. It's still.
I hadn't even met you yet, David. I didn't meet you till the 90s. You and Joyce.
So we begin the game with a question for Leslie Hoban Blake. The year was 1665. That's going first for you. Debuting tonight at the Palais Royal in Paris is Jean Racine's tragedy Alexandre le Grand. Which of these is not true about that play or its author? Okay. A is a multiple choice. Before writing this play, he tried to write a comedy but couldn't get past the first two acts and never finished it and never tried comedy again. B, Alexandre le Grand was directed by Molière. C, Racine didn't like the production, so he closed it and reopened it 2 weeks later with a different cast.
Wow.
Or D, Racine liked the lead actress in Alexandre le Grand, so much so that when her husband died, she became his mistress.
Quick question. Is this what is true or what is false? I missed that
One of
part.
these is false. The others are true.
The others are true.
How could
Okay.
she become the mistress to her dead husband?
No. When the husband died, she became Racine's mistress.
Oh,
I'm following.
yeah. Well, he said
I
when
have
the
to
husband
tell
died,
you
she became his mistress. Okay.
that I studied, believe this or
yeah.
not, I actually studied French.
I
Well,
believe-
I'm a Renaissance scholar, so there's a whole time period, and this all falls within that time period, regardless of whether it's France or England or, you know. So not America, thank you. All right, so Racine definitely was directed by Molière. They were the two guys. Racine hated the idea that he couldn't write comedy, but he didn't write it well, so he didn't write comedy. Why am I giving you all these answers? Wait a minute. Let's go back to, read me the answers one more time.
Okay, here we go. One of these is not true. One of these is false. Is it A, before writing this play, he tried to write a comedy, couldn't get past the first two acts, never finished it, never tried comedy again. B, Alexandre le Grand was directed by Molière. C, Racine didn't like the production, so he closed it and reopened it 2 weeks later with a different cast. Or C, Racine did like the lead actress in his play, so much so that when her husband died, she became Racine's mistress.
The thing is that they all sound credible. Believe it or not, they all sound credible.
Yeah.
You're gonna just have to forgive me. I've got to dig very deep into this.
Yeah.
Haven't thought about this in 100 years.
Her mind is racing.
Neither is Racine.
It is racing through the centuries. Bear with
Racing
me.
through Racine. Oops.
Well, Leslie's our better Racine and not heard. Okay.
Tell me what number 3 is again.
C is Racine didn't like.
No, that's not.
That was number
That's
3.
not.
Oh, okay.
I know, but I know what that is. That's the one about recasting the show.
And number 2 is Brown and falls in a toilet. So there you go.
Oh, God, stop it. Stop it.
Dave, you're missing your theme music in between while there's thinking music.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty-
My wife
Well,
gave me these since you're a jazz guy.
There you go. Hey, listen, I'll get my Doombek out. We can jam. I've got one right behind me.
The hell is a Dumbek?
A Doombek. I'll show you.
Doing back.
Not in public.
I would say take you to dinner first usually, but I'll show you my Doombek if you're nice.
Is it like a Steinbeck? But no. No.
This is a Doombek.
Oh! Cool. Is that what country? Is that African or?
Whoa.
Indian. I think a Doombek.
David, I'm gonna say A, because there's a grain of truth, but also I think what you said about it is not true.
So you're saying about the comedy thing?
Yeah,
Is that your final answer, Leslie Hoban Blake?
yeah. I just dropped my pen. I can't participate in the.
Is that in protest, Leslie?
Leslie, so I'm going to do this today because I brought these jazzy bongos. Leslie Hoban Blake, you are on the board with 2 points because that is the incorrect answer. Racine actually did write and finish a comedy. His fourth play was Les Plaisirs from 1668, played at the usual place. Like, all the other things are in fact true. And he hated the production of. It's not that he hated it, but there was another company that could do a higher level, better publicized production. So he closed this play, Alexander, and reopened it, and he and Moliere became rivals for life after that.
Yes, yes, all of that.
Well, yeah, but
Everything you said. That's what I was going to say. Everything.
Absolutely, yeah. It's all guesswork. Well, not for Leslie on that one. Leslie's kind of steeped in that.
I'm
But
super
But I mean,
by the way.
you know how long it's like if you take calculus, when do you use it in your life, right?
Right.
So suddenly I'm digging back into the brains of, the master's degree that is kept. I mean, I have a master's degree in Renaissance drama, right? What do you do with that?
Nothing.
If you don't teach, what do you do with it?
You go
So
right
anyway,
downstairs.
I've enjoyed it. And I just won a point. So 2 points. So
2 points, 2. So Leslie on the board, but hey, we're just one question. By the way, Marcus, this quiz will probably go on until 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Just so you know.
Knocked out the whole day. That's
Good,
okay.
excellent.
I'm going to sit here on Zoom with you all. That's all.
David and Marcus, have you seen, when you pick up your xylophone, have you seen the commercial where the little girl is conducting an orchestra made up of children's instruments, including your xylophone?
No,
Cars for kids.
There's a little girl conducting an orchestra, all of these people who look like they might actually be an orchestra, and each one of them is playing a different small instrument.
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
yours. Okay.
Is it good? Is it fun? I mean, does it sound like
It's
a great?
adorable, but all I could think of was you.
It's forced child labor, I believe.
Well,
it's
didn't
forced
Dinosaur
child labor.
Jr., didn't they have that sound? Were they the ones who did a lot of stuff with toy instruments? And the people who did Money, that cover version of Money, the Beatles song. Also, there was a Japanese group that did it with toy.
Oh, really? I don't know that. This is a new.
It's a classic. Yeah, it really is actually. It was anywho.
Remember the catio that we used to see people playing?
Yes. Yeah, Joyce is reminding me of. I used to have this thing called it wasn't a catio, but they called it something else. It was a cat keyboard and designed like a cat for 8-year-olds. And I was like, yes, and then we threw it out. Okay. Next question goes to David Sheward. So you can tie Leslie if you get this right. It's a multiple choice.
Come on, David. Come on. Give me what you got.
We'll see here. 1844 was the year. So remember, just Marcus, these are things that happened on December 4th. So December 4th, 1844, elected the 11th U.S. president today is James K. Polk. Which of these is not true about James K. Polk?
Okay. Just say false.
Which of these is false about James K. Polk? A, by creating postage stamps, he thought he'd save the failing postal service, thousands of dollars. Instead, the cost of making the stamps put the service even further into debt during his term. B, when he was 17, he had stones from his bladder removed with only brandy used as anesthetic. C, after he died and was buried, he was dug up, reburied, then later dug up and buried again. Or D, one of his nicknames was Napoleon of the Stump.
Okay. So which of those is false?
Which of these is false? Yes.
All right. So it's this time I wrote down so I can remember. So stamps, stones in his gallbladder. Now I can't even read my writing.
After he died and was buried, he was dug up.
Buried. Okay. Yeah.
And then later buried again. Yeah.
Buried. And Napoleon of the Stump.
Right.
Of
the Stump.
That could be true. Okay, they all sound plausible. They all sound, as Leslie was saying on the Racine one, they all sound plausible. And last week, the second question, the answer was A, but I have a feeling that's not going to help me.
Remember the
Well, I've got it written down here. See, I just happen to.
I know.
Marcus is just staring angrily at the screen, like, what have I got myself into? What is this?
I'm trying to think. Okay,
Who are these people?
December 4th.
Yes.
Right.
You have to know what happened on the last week's show. No, you don't. No,
yeah, I'll bet. Okay, so I think the stamps is true. They all could be true. They all sound very, very, very plausible. I think the Napoleon of the Stump sounds crazy enough. I mean, because then they had nicknames. for the presidents, like Old Abe or Old Hickory or Tippecanoe and Tyler too, and
Or Sleepy Joe, yeah.
23 Skidoo.
Just nothing to joke about.
The Orange Monster. We still have them, yeah.
Oh, or fascist dictator.
Yeah.
Right, the fascist
Or the
dictator. I like
fascist
that.
dictator, the fascist orange.
That's my favorite one, David.
Hitler Jr.
Well, that's me.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, I'm wiggling around. I'm trying to pick my pen up without getting off of my bicycle.
I'll bet it's probably maybe it's Napoleon of the oak or something instead of the stump. But that's crazy enough to be true. This is one of those things where I'm not a Polkian scholar like Leslie's the Rossinian scholar.
Leslie's poking around on her bike there.
I had to get my pen up without getting
All
off
right,
the
I'm
bike.
going to go with oh God, and the stamps ones. That sounds very true. Okay, stamps sounds true. Gallbladder stones, probably that's how they did it in those days. That they had no anesthetic. John Adams's daughter had to have a mastectomy, and she had no anesthetic.
Had a what?
A mastectomy?
I've asked him about John Adams.
Sounded like you said vasectomy for a minute, which I thought would be very hard for her to do. But
John Adams' daughter had to have a mastectomy, and it was terrible.
oh God.
I'm going to say he was not reburied the amount of times that you said. I'll say C.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, okay.
Even though we all dig you, David Sheward, I'm afraid that is not the correct answer. He really was. It wasn't like immediately. He was buried and then moved over. Well, I'll tell
Why?
the story.
Why?
Well, first of all, I'll tell you this part of the answer. But he died of an infectious disease, so he's very quickly buried in a local cemetery. Then they dug him up to move him to a nicer place. But again, in 1893, they moved him to the Tennessee Capitol grounds.
Oh,
because
okay.
And now they want to dig him up and bury him again. There's another reason they want to do it, to bring him to his old family home. So he might literally be disinterred and reinterred. But anyway, I'm going to enter a new number into our roll of die here, which came up. Oh, Marcus, you're going to be very happy. Number 6. You get to steal this question.
Okay, I'm ready.
Go.
What, am I supposed to do something? Oh, this question. Oh, sorry. I had no idea what I was ready for. Right, I get to steal this question.
Yes.
So, funny fact. So James K. Polk, aside from not being a very nice man, I think he was allergic to stamps, and so he was so very motivated to do something about that, his allergy, that he employed all these little worker bees to come up with an idea of how he could get himself further and further away from stamps. So I think that the stamp endeavor is true. The other two were the gallbladder stone, the stones, the kidney stones, right?
Bladder stones, yeah.
Right, and then the third one was.
Well, the fourth one was, his nickname was Napoleon of the Stump.
Right, Napoleon of the Stump. Everybody knows that it was Napoleon of the Pine. That's just, everyone knows that. So the stump he got, confused with because he had a very large kneecap and on his right knee, which again, very common knowledge. I don't specialize in the Renaissance like Leslie does. My Renaissance master's degree comes from History of the World Part 1 and Something Rotten. That's my master's in history and Renaissance.
I love History of the World Part 1. I adore that film.
I adore it. So that's where I'm going to go with. It's Napoleon of the Pine. It had to do with his lavish, ground landscape that he had, and he was known for his trees, and that's what it was. So that's false.
That's false. Okay.
Okay. So that is that your final answer?
Yes.
Marcus Goldhaber. No, we stumped you on that question. That is not the correct answer. So I do believe, Leslie, you get to try and steal this question.
There are two left. By the way, the stump they're talking about is not a stump of a tree. It's when they went stumping when they went out making speeches. That was
a stump speech, which is what handicapped people make when they have no limbs. So yes.
But it was about So I don't understand whether Napoleon was considered a great speaker or not. That's my question to it. It's got nothing to do with a tree. It's what?
Joyce is saying because he was a fancy dresser. No, but I mean,
Okay.
Napoleon's like
He always had his hand in his shirt. What's left? I don't know what's left.
Tell Leslie. Vicky said, "Come on, Leslie."
Vicky's poetry. Leslie is the only woman of the group. So
Is that my friend Vicky who said that? Hi, Vicky.
hi, Vicky. Vicky Quaddy, who joins us when we don't have a third, but we do have a third. It's Marcus, and welcome
She's
to.
giving love.
Thank you, Vicky.
Stamps and Stones. Stamps and Stones.
Right.
Oh, Stamps and Stones, which was a great old band. I really liked their early work a lot.
And they may break
I
your
didn't like
bones, but
later
they'll never
on.
hurt you. Yeah.
When Pat Benatar left, I didn't like it anymore. Okay, so that's A and C, right?
No, A and
No,
B.
A and B.
A and B.
A and B. Okay, so the other thing is, I thought this was going to somehow get back to Louis DeJoy. As far as if someone would just get rid of Louis DeJoy, then we wouldn't have to worry about the stamp problem anymore. But that's, it's never ended. I don't understand about
No idea what you're talking about.
allergic to stamps. I don't know how anybody can be
Those
allergic to
stamps
stamps,
generated.
Marcus. I find that very
He made that
amusing.
up.
No,
Yes,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I figured as much.
no,
I commend his
True?
quick
Okay.
wit. Marcus, I commend your quick wit. That's all I can say. So I have to choose between A and B, and I've already chosen an A. So I'm gonna doff my cap to our friend David. And I'm gonna go with B, which is the Stones, right?
So you're saying that is not true. When he was 17, he had Stones.
But Keith was with the band then. I mean, in 18, whatever. Keith was with them, right?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
Okay.
So was
just
Charlie.
checking.
Yeah. In fact, Charlie was born that. No. So is that your answer, Leslie Buck?
Yeah. Tentatively. You stumped us all, right?
After this quiz, I'm going to have to get stoned. But Leslie, I did actually stump all of you with this question. Here's the deal. Polk created stamp. He was the guy who was in when they first started doing postage stamps. So he created to save the failing postal service. What would happen is people would pay for mail when they got it. And the post office was losing like $1 million. And so I said, no, you buy the stamps first. The post office gets the money, and then you deliver it. But it wasn't a failing thing. He actually saved the American government like $1 million by doing that. So
much for David's A, B, C, D.
Well, now just to alert everybody, we're following the pattern of last week because we have 2 A's in a row.
all right, but you never know. Could follow the whole pattern of last week, or it could not.
We've been playing this game too long, Marcus, as you can see. We're looking for conspiracy theories.
Now,
and
if the pattern
boogeymen
holds,
under the bed, the whole thing. What?
if the pattern holds, the next question will be the 3-word thing.
He's right.
Oh, it's just
He's absolutely right, and it goes.
Poor Marcus gets that on his first question.
I know.
Wow.
So Marcus, here's the deal.
Good luck, Marcus.
Thank you. I'm
Really good.
very prepared.
Unlike most,
When Vicky said all the answers are A.
all the could be, except this one because
I
it's
pick A. I pick
word.
A.
A is
A.
final answer. No,
Like the LSATs, right?
Yeah. C.
Right.
C, no. That's how you go through Spanish class. Marcus,
Yes.
most of the questions are these multiple choice idiocies. However, this one is a little different. This
Different kind of idiocy.
Yes, it's a special kind of idiocy. It's called 3 Clues in the News. And what it is I will give you 3 words, and they are not connected to each other, but each word is connected to the word that we are looking for that you have to come up with. And that word is in some way related to something that happened in the news this week. I'll give you an example, although it's not news related. So if I were to say sweet couch vegetable, that might bring to mind
my nickname in high school, but so sweet couch vegetable.
right.
Right.
Sweet
So,
blank couch
Show him,
blank,
show him.
and it's a
oh, I got it. Potato. Okay.
potato in it. So that's what. So the words are not connected to each other. Each word connects to the word we're looking for. So it might be word blank or blank word. Got it?
Got
Kind
it.
of.
And they're all Hanukkah related.
They're all
Kidding.
No.
Potato. I don't know. I can't. I'm making latkes today, so I'm. It's on my brain. I can't
Oh,
Oh,
say it.
really?
Yes, I make latkes every year. I love it. My dad used to host a Hanukkah party back when we were hosting Hanukkah parties, and for maybe like a dozen years, and I was always in the kitchen making like hundreds of latkes, hundreds.
Oh, that's
And
so
and you start
adorable.
with the potato. You actually grate them all down yourself.
For my whole life, I only grate the potatoes. I will never use a Cuisinart. I grate the potatoes and the onions, and that's all I'm going to tell you about my recipes. But it's very traditional. That's how I grew up eating them.
I
And
wanted to watch you grate a raw egg, but that's okay. Never mind. It's all right.
That'd be a little
that's
difficult.
at the after party. That happens.
That's the secret, right? Oh, there's an
That's
after.
the Polish
There's an
way of
after
looking at
party.
it. Like I grate a raw egg. So Marcus, though, are you ready for our question?
I've never been more ready.
It's horrifying. Okay, here we go. The 3 words are big, typewriter, O.
O technically being a letter, or are you saying it's OH, as in oh?
That one.
You said it more like you would say it in the alphabet. That's why I
Yeah.
was confused. So I was like, but okay, so it's O.
Oh.
Not, but it's not oh. Like, does the inflection matter in terms of how it's used and what it's a part of? Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the inflection could matter.
may I
But the word
ask
is the
you?
word. It's
The word is the bird is
OH.
the. May I ask you to say oh, how you would say it as connected to the word you'd like me to guess?
Is that fair? I guess I can do it. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh.
One more time.
Again.
You just
Sounds
check
like you
that.
just got a bad diagnosis from your doctor.
Yeah, no. I just heard something fall. The words are big, typewriter.
La comida de la
Oh.
Oh, like oh, I didn't know that. Big typewriter, big. Okay, so what word goes with big? What word goes with typewriter? What word goes with O, or vice versa? Okay. Well, let's begin. Big, big and tall. I love free association. So big time, big top,
As a jazz person, right? Yeah.
big top, big norm, big, big. Now, big could also be the second word, right?
Right. It could be
These are
blank.
not all the first words.
Right.
These could be, and
Could
it could be a mixed match. It could be, one's the first word, one's the second word, right?
Right. That is correct. It could be.
Hey, oh, that's a tough one. Typewriter's pretty limiting. How many words go with typewriter? Now, this is.
Oh, I know what it is.
Are we still in the December 4th of yesteryear theme?
No. This is recent
of all time.
news. No, it would be something that happened within the past few days,
Great.
a week or so, maybe.
It's just good to free yourself of the news association and think of the words.
Yeah, that's more helpful.
Play with the phrases and the words.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I've been freeing myself from the news for the past couple of weeks anyway. So here we go. Typewriter. Typewriter. I added a syllable. So I'm trying to remember the brand of typewriter. Ribbon, like a typewriter ribbon. Maybe there's a function in a typewriter key. A typewriter. It is just typewriter. I should stop saying it that way. All right. I got to leave typewriter. Nothing is coming to me. Oh my God. Oh my. Oh my. Could it be that simple? Probably not. My guess is no, it would have to be.
What's the third one, David?
Typewriter.
Typewriter?
And big time.
What's the second one?
You know that poem by T.S. Eliot, Oh Typewriter?
Of course. There's a song.
Mr.
Oh typewriter, oh typewriter. Oh how I love. Yeah.
It's the right season and everything.
The clacking of the keys.
Right.
Oh, typewriter, my typewriter. Yeah.
Oh, typewriter, my type. Right. Exactly. Stand up on the desk. Yes, exactly. Wow. This is tough. Is this tougher than I think it is, or is it simpler than I think?
No, it's tight. It either comes or sometimes that's with me.
Like
just
on a honeymoon night. Yeah.
That's what you said last night.
Oh.
Yes, right. And if it doesn't, then I never get it.
Oh, say, can you see?
He said that too.
As Royce is saying, it's hard the first time you
You're
do it.
not supposed to listen. You promised me you put your fingers in your ears.
What?
And that's don't even go there. Don't even go there, David. That's even worse.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Marcus, I kind of need an answer.
All right, so
No,
big.
no, tell him. Marcus,
big-
if you don't have an answer, just promote anything you're working on, any of your projects.
No,
Just
we'll-
at room
we'll get
623.
there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. I'm good. I'm good with pressure here. I like the pressure.
Oh,
It focuses me.
63.
So so this is a catchphrase, right? So big is part like sweet potato
Yeah,
is
yeah.
something. So big goes together with the word like sweet goes with potato, correct?
Or it could come before. It
Right.
could become, it's
Correct.
before or
It goes
after.
together. We go together like sweet potato goes with sweet potato. So all right. So big, so big. Oh so big. That's kind of lame. And it's in the news.
Funny.
Goodness gracious, big blank. I'm drawing a blank. On big.
Can you
Typing.
draw a blank? You can actually have to use like an invisible crayon to do that. You
I'm gonna-
literally cannot draw a blank. It
That's
just
a
occurred
great
to me.
challenge. Now I have the
Yeah.
rest of my day planned, and you're holding up something that's supposed to give
No,
me.
it has nothing to do with anything, but it is a potato. Okay.
Oh, I love it. I love it though.
Thank you.
Hello. Oh my goodness, typewriter. I feel like
Equity.
you can't ask for clues, can you?
No.
Clues, good. No. I don't want to. I don't want any favors. No favors. I
Oh,
wanna
great.
earn my
Bad, because
points.
I don't have a clue in the world. I
Yeah.
can't figure this out.
The opposite of Dr. Sue.
That's an in joke. Don't even. Okay.
All right. So David, tell me what are the repercussions here of drawing a blank? Should I just pull something out of my shoe and just give it to you?
Yeah, you can either pass, but you don't do it again. You might as well
Promote
bring it in
Promote
addition.
a show.
Passing
Promote a
is
show,
deflating.
Marcus.
Well, I have plenty of shows coming up. Oh, I can tell you about a big show. I'd love to send you a letter. I'll write you on my typewriter about it.
There you go.
It's I'm doing the holiday set at room 623 on Thursday, December the 9th at 7:00. And you can come
And 8:30, right? You're doing two of them, no?
7 and 8:30, two
Right.
sets. It's a hoot. We're having such a blast. There's laughter and so much dancing and fun. It's great. And you're in a speakeasy in Harlem. I want to come up with an answer for you. So a big typewriter. Typewriter is throwing me keys. It has something to do with the instruments on the typewriter, like the keys, strokes. You have a stroke. Someone had a stroke.
Not in public.
Stroke your typewriter and
Yeah.
oh to me. Oh my. Oh God. I don't want to pass. Passing is so deflating.
Certainly with gas, yeah.
Big surprise. That's what I'm gonna say. It's just like I'm gonna say big typewriter. Big my goodness. Big gift. Big mouth typewriter. It's like baby fish mouth. I'm playing. I can't come up with anything, but I'm trying, and you're desperately patient. Is what you are right now.
Yeah.
You're trying so hard, but the clock's run out.
It's still December 4th, ladies and gentlemen.
Tune in next week. We'll still be waiting for Marcus's answer. Come back. It'll be a running theme. I'm sorry. I'm looking at objects around my space here, and I can't find any inspiration to rhyme with or to go with typewriter. Typewriter. I'm going to Google typewriter tomorrow and see what comes up.
Yeah.
But you're going to tell me the answer, and I'm going to be so deflated and
Yeah, there's no typewriters anymore.
My mother has a typewriter that I found upstairs in the attic, and I dusted off and we cleaned it, and it actually works. And that's why I'm kicking myself, because I can't remember the brand name, because that would jog some of the screws and nuts to tighten, I think. But it's beautiful. It's black with the gold trim around each key, and it's pristine. And I love taking care of old things like that and repairing them. It feels great to do. I'm stalling.
You have an answer at some point.
My answer
If he says anything else, we'll charge him for therapy.
big loss, big gain, big heart. That's what I'm going to go with. Dave, you have a big heart.
I'm not even going to ask if that's your final. That is your final answer.
Final answer. Big heart. Typewriter. Everyone knows the famous Heart brand of typewriters, and my heart. Oh, my heart.
Well, yes, I'm sorry.
David has been suspiciously silent throughout all of this, which leads me to believe that he knows the word.
I'm getting the sense that he does too. I thought
you knows the word. Please let him guess it.
Beautiful today.
Yeah, well, I love the red with the. Okay, we come up
David,
with a number
very,
5.
very nice.
Five, which is closest to Marcus and second closest to David Sheward, unless I'm great. Yes, it is. So, David, you'd like to try and steal
All right.
Do you remember what the question was?
I remember. It's big typewriter and O.
Yes.
Now I really am stumped too. My silence is because I was racking my brain trying to figure this out. Now it's not ribbon because big ribbon and O ribbon don't make any sense.
Those were great musicals, though. Yes.
Yeah, the big ribbon. Look out for me, oh big ribbon.
Oh man, ribbon, that old man.
And it's not carriage because big carriage and O carriage don't make any sense. Oh,
Typewriter carriage makes sense.
Yeah, it does. A carriage is a thing.
Yes,
Oh,
that
maybe-
thing that goes back and forth.
oh, maybe
Yeah.
it's not case. Typewriter, and it's not keys because big keys. It's not Remington, which was the brand.
That's a stout, I think.
That's the brand I was
But
trying.
it's not. But big Remington doesn't make any sense, and
Well, it does kind of.
I knew a guy
That's
in
in Michigan.
college.
Yeah.
and neither does O Remington. Oh my God. Oh,
Phone you a friend.
yeah. O typewriter.
We call Vicky.
You don't
Stroke.
Vicky has it. Vicky, I'm sure.
Did she-
Vicky-
did
Oh, really? Okay.
Do you have the right
George
answer?
got it like
Yeah.
20 minutes ago. Yeah.
It's
all right. I'm just gonna say.
it's either you get it or you don't. There's no middle ground. It's either.
I'm just gonna say keys. I'll say keys.
What,
Keys.
keys?
Keys.
Keys. I'll say keys.
You have not unlocked the answer, I'm afraid, with your keys, David Sheward. So, Leslie, don't say, Marcus, no, sure, because Leslie's.
No. Well, even if you got it, Marcus, but you guys put me on a new track, no pun intended, for this, because when you said the name of the machine, Remington is only one. If you had a portable, you had a Corona. The name of the little
And
portable.
those went
machine
viral, yeah.
that came in the box that, well, that's why I'm thinking Corona.
It took me a second, but I got that.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that has anything to do with it either. But you said case, so big case, bag case. I don't know about case bag, but case. So I'm going between. So my choice is between the word case and the word Corona. I also have boss, time, keys, Omicron, and font. These are the words that I've been putting down. I'm not even looking to see if your eyes light up on any of them because none of them make any sense. Omicron is it's pronounced Omicron and it is a Greek letter, and I only know that because it was on the news. I know nothing about the Greek language.
Actually, not to interrupt you and make this question go even longer, but this is kind of funny. Someone in my family posted on Facebook. They're sort of right wing even of me. And did you know that if you take the letters of Delta and Omicron and you scrabble them up into it actually will spell out media control. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, wow. That changes my life.
David,
In my head, Omicron is a Marvel evil, a villain.
Right.
Omicron, he's
Yeah,
he's a transformer, one or the other.
It's a transformer.
What?
It's a transformer.
I thought about the transformer also.
Yeah.
He is a transformer. Omicron is a transformer, right?
Literally.
Marcus, is that right?
Well, no, I think you're thinking of the Decepticons and
Whatever. Okay. But
you know.
out of all of these are all the
yeah.
so
Big on
these are
Transformers.
all
If you
of
got
the
questions about
things.
Transformers, I'm your guy. Optimus
Right,
Prime,
right.
like I grew up with
Oh, I
those.
know nothing about that.
And I could do Marvel superheroes, supervillains to a certain degree, and then I would be caught out.
Okay.
I haven't watched the movies, so I don't know about that. I know them from the comic books. Okay.
Do you realize this question has taken longer than an entire episode of Jeopardy?
Well, only because we don't have a time thing, but okay. I'm gonna go.
Vicky says case.
I have case. I have case and Corona and time.
Vicky's trying.
If I had time, I'd drink a case of Corona. Yeah.
Well, we've had enough time
give
for you
you
to drink
enough
a case of Corona. All right, I'm gonna go with case.
Yeah, good call. Good
Uh-uh.
guess.
Is that your final answer?
Is that your answer, Marcus?
I
Well,
would
I'll
go
set
with
you up, yes.
Of your choices, absolutely.
Well, we're all mental cases here.
Oh.
But none of us got the word, right?
Let me
Okay.
set you up. Let me set.
Oh.
The words were big typewriter.
Yeah.
Oh.
Brother, hermano.
Oh.
Brother is a brand of
Brother is another
typewriter,
brand.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
no, it would. I beg to differ. There was not a brother typewriter. There was a brother computer.
No, there was brother
There was
typewriter.
a brother.
Brother
All right, I'll go. I am
Not a
just
brother
able
typewriter,
enough
but
that
yeah.
I will go and look it up.
But
Because
what's
I am
the brother?
old enough to go back to the days before electric typewriters. And,
What?
Yeah.
and when I
Look it
actually
up.
used it, I learned in school on a
What
real
was
typewriter.
what's the brother in the news?
The brother in the news is no longer on the
Chris
news.
Cuomo. Chris Cuomo. And I understand what you're doing, but I think typewriter is a mislead there. I do.
All right, I remember brother typewriters.
But it's like, Leslie, it's like potato and vegetable in the example where they say vegetable. It's a potato, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not like that because
Well-
I don't think there was a brother typewriter. I think there was a brother computer. It's moot.
Anyway,
It's moot. Nobody got it.
Let's move on.
You stumped us. We'll move on, but I'm going to check it out.
That was
That's all.
very good, David. That was
Thank
very
Very good,
Thank
David.
you.
That was a deep dive.
Yeah.
That was a deep.
Very
Well, we're one round into.
I haven't even.
Vicky had that.
I haven't even had one
No,
of your
Vicky.
traditional questions about the historical stuff.
Yeah.
That's
No,
funny.
you'll get one eventually, but
What's coming
but it's
in.
going to be a while because we start our round
Next
2.
year when you come back.
That's right. Next
We're
time.
going to have a small vacation in between. We're going to Aruba. We'll see you next week.
See you next question.
So did Joyce say that Vicky had that one right?
No, Vicky did not. She had case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought she was leading us to
So-
case.
They're images, little tiny images.
So Leslie, they did make a whole row of electronic typewriters, and they also made regular typewriters back in the day.
That's a typewriter and not a computer.
Yeah, that's a
those are
typewriter.
3 computers.
Yeah,
Okay,
those are
all right,
typewriters.
all right.
Yeah, I remember,
Sorry.
brother.
Hey, look at.
I had a brother computer. I never had a brother typewriter.
I never
Maybe
had a
you had a
brother.
brother word processor.
Well, they made those.
Word processor. I'm sorry, that's the word I'm thinking of. Is word processor.
Word processor.
Thank you.
is
I knew
not
it
a
was
computer.
pre-computer.
All right. Well, shall we move on? Yeah, round 2. Round 2 of our today-yesterday quiz. By the way,
We
it's-
should each get half a point for having spent so much friggin' time on this.
Oh, thanks, Dr.
how
Sue.
can you
Just for still being here.
a third of a point, maybe?
No,
All right.
Dr. Sue.
I said for everybody, David, not just for me.
All right, fair enough.
Leslie speaks.
Leslie, you
Oh, an
muted
ecumenical,
yourself.
Dr. Sue.
Leslie, I have a
Unmute
question
yourself.
for you.
Oh, Vicky asked, when did this game begin?
In 1844. They buried James Polk the second time.
Is James Polk going to be your next guest?
When Al Capone was doing the milk dating.
Oh, good.
That was the last
That
week.
was from last week.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Okay.
Okay.
Leslie, you are actually still ahead in this game, 2 points.
No.
Nothing.
Hey.
And you
I'm
can
gonna
build
win
on
with
that.
2 points. Right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The year was 1906. Founded today at Cornell is Alpha Phi Alpha, the first college fraternity specifically serving African American students. It is still around today, and its stated motto is still, which of these?
Oh, boy.
A, our hearts are united. B, first of all, servants of all, we shall transcend all. C, truth, honor, and personal integrity. Or D, we live for each other.
Ooh.
Got so serious all of a sudden.
That's a fraternity, not a sorority. Or is it a sorority?
This is a fraternity,
African American,
Fraternity,
Leslie,
okay.
African American
a
historical.
black ternity, if you will.
No, I got that. I know next to nothing about fraternities and sororities. I was anti them and I used to march against them. So I really don't know anything about them. And that poor kid just got killed. Another poor kid just got hazed to death. I just think it's awful. So
African American sororities like Michelle Obama, a lot.
right, those are different. That's why I said if it was a sorority, because they were all about improving the lot of mankind. They were, and they still are today. Okay, A was again. Please give me the keywords on that.
Okay, here we go. Again, the place is Cornell. The fraternity is Alpha Phi Alpha. The options are, it means one of these things. A, or I'm sorry, the motto is one of these. A, our hearts are united. B, first of all, servants of all, we shall transcend all. C, truth, honor, and personal integrity. Or D, we live for each other.
They're all good, David.
Well, thank you.
Well, I will be honest with you. The one that has servants in it upsets me. It's a nice word for 1906, but given the historical consequences of this, I not that it might not be used, because it was also the time of Booker T. Washington, and that was a little earlier, but it was all about pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps, etc. All of which
This
is
is
a
very
load of malarkey.
painful. Yeah.
All of which, to quote our illustrious leader, is a bunch of
See you later.
malarkey. I'm sorry, I'm trying to go ahead.
Did-
All right, so
No, David
heart-
was his husband there for a minute. Yeah.
Did David just leave?
No, he's right there.
No. My husband he's going out to do some
Oh.
shopping. He was thinking about it.
David,
My husband.
David wants to leave. We've got him captive, but he wants to go. Okay. Hearts United. The A is Hearts United. B is the one with servants in it. C is about truth, and D is we live for each other. I'm going to go for D, we live for each other, because that would be what a sorority would be, what a fraternity would be about, I think.
Okay, so your answer is letter D, we live for each other. Final
Yeah.
answer. Well, I'm glad you won't live or die by these answers, Leslie Hoban Blake, because that is the wrong answer. We have a steal opportunity. We're going to roll this die. Come on, die. And it will come up number 3, which is David Sheward's number. So, David, you get to steal.
Okay. All right. So my choices are Hearts United, we are each other's servants, and something about truth.
Yeah, those aren't the exact phrases, but yeah, okay.
What was the whole truth one?
Truth, honor, and personal integrity.
I'll go with that one.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, I'd rather be honor than offer, but that is not the correct answer either, David Sheward. So, Marcus Goldhaber, you can get on the board with 2 points. You have a 50-50 shot.
Okay. Typewriter. Kidding. Too soon? Too soon.
He knows how to play the game.
So we're left with Hearts United.
Right.
I'm now learning this is the portion of the show you're supposed to write down with your pen and paper.
You don't have, it never.
No, I was jotting it down because it was so convoluted.
Yeah, so Hearts United is left, and what's the other one?
First of all, servants of all, we shall transcend all.
Yeah, and the actual wording on the hearts is...
Oh, I'm sorry. Our hearts are united.
Our hearts are united. Yeah, I mean, obviously, with Leslie, servants is a trigger for me now as well. So I want to say, I want it to be our hearts are united. And I wonder if it actually is servants of all. What was the bookend? The servants is in the middle, and the first one, last one is of that line that it's
where there's truth, honor, personal integrity.
And
we live for each other. Our hearts are united. First of all, servants of all, we shall transcend.
First of all, right. First of all, servants of all, and then how does it end?
We shall transcend all.
The transcend makes sense.
First of all, servants of all.
Sorry.
I wanted to sit with that for a second. I think I'm going to go with 1906, which I know that year well. Dave, you remember we used to hang out at that place around the corner in 1906.
It was called Room 104 back then. It was so young. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very young.
I love that show. I really like that show.
And you used to order that dish every night. That I don't know how you ate it all, but you did, and it was amazing. It smelled amazing, but I just couldn't. Portions. I loved the waitresses were adorable and so charming. The music was great. So for this reason, it's probably obvious that the members of Alpha Psi Phi Alpha Phi Alpha.
Yeah,
the name of my next record. But spoiler alert: Alpha Phi Alpha.
Which couldn't get any better. Yeah.
Wow. I think we're gonna have to go with. I'm gonna just go out on a limb here and just be risky and go with the uncomfortable choice of, first of all, servants of all, we transcend all. Though I will caveat say I want it to be our hearts unite because that's warm and fuzzy. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that as final answer. And I see your mental eyebrows moving towards me. What are you gonna do? That's my final answer. Go ahead, drum roll me. Do I get points?
Well,
Nope.
you are now, you're not first, unfortunately, Marcus, but you are tied because that was the correct answer. You get 2 points. Yes,
I'm
indeed.
just picking up my pen. I've got the dropsies today. I don't know what's going on. The vapors and the dropsies, you know.
So just so you know,
Yeah,
these
I've
are
heard
all
that.
actual things. Like Our Hearts Are United was for Theta Delta Chi.
I think that's pronounced Chi, is it
Is
not?
it Chi? CHI is
I
Chi?
think it's Chai.
Sigma
Actually.
Chi. Yeah, it's
Chi.
Chi. It's with a Cha. With a Cha, indeed.
The third one comes, the Truth, Honor, and Personal Responsibility comes from Princeton and Tri-Phi. And if you've ever tried Phi on your Wi-Fi, it's pretty good. And then Alpha Delta Pi and Wesleyan, which is a sorority, is We Live for Each Other. So
Were those all African American, or were they just all?
no.
Oh,
The only
okay.
African American one was Alpha Phi Alpha. So, so
I
congratulations,
think the key
Marcus.
was that transcend, Marcus. I think that, you know, maybe like.
Well, it's a different time, and words change sometimes.
Oh
Their
no,
meaning.
absolutely. I
And
totally understand that. I'm just saying it made
so,
me uncomfortable. Yeah,
no,
trigger is a good
my
word.
my
The
ancestors.
word servant. You can serve somebody without thinking in terms of, oh, I was
Yeah,
going.
I like that song too, you know, but
You know, it's like a
Yeah, I no, I'm saying we can't just take every goddamn word. You know, we can't take picnic and remove it from the dictionary because there were lynching picnics. I mean, come on, enough. I'm sorry, I'm very anti this cancel
Here, wait,
culture
hold on.
nonsense. Yeah.
Or you're very sensitive about picnics, one or the other.
Oh, I am. Yeah.
That could be.
It makes me hinge. But
was it an
yeah.
ant or a
I
bee
get it.
that's
I got
done you?
I,
I got that joke.
thank you. So we have a tie game between Leslie and Marcus, but
Whoa.
we're still in the second round. And David Sheward can get 2 points here and tie the game 3 ways. And
Okay.
you ever like a 3-way like I do?
Ready? I'm ready.
Here we go.
Somebody was talking about a 4-way. It was on some show the other night. No, and everybody was looking around going,
Where?
how do you even do that? You know?
Wow.
No,
Well,
it's just
Shannon,
don't
yeah.
imagine it. I'm just mentioning it. Let's go on.
Let's go on. Now,
Yeah.
I apologize right now to Marcus because you would have probably wanted. Actually, it has nothing to do with anything. But when you hear the question, you're going to be like, "Oh, come on!" David, though,
Yeah.
the year was 1927.
No pressure.
It's
Yeah.
Duke Ellington's opening night,
Oh.
leading the house band at the Cotton Club,
Oh, okay.
where he would stay until June 1931. Which of these is false about cotton?
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, there we go. A, Texas artist Harvey Kalenberg once made a giant canvas of a southern plantation using popcorn to represent cotton. B, dollar bills aren't made of paper, they're made mostly of cotton. C, the Chinese space program tried unsuccessfully to grow cotton on the moon. Or D, the US Department of Agriculture has greenlighted a project to grow genetically modified cotton that humans can eat.
Whoa.
Which of these is false?
Yes, only one of these is false.
Oh, well, one is false. Okay. Who's growing the genetic cotton? The Pentagon?
The U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Oh, okay.
Well, yes, that's the genetically modified one.
Okay.
Don't they have to come up with regular food that we can eat first before they can
All right.
genetically modify anything?
All right. So so far we have 2 A's and a B for our answers, and this does not follow the pattern of last week. So I don't think we're going to have another A. So I'm going to eliminate the popcorn, and it would be too. You would have. I don't think you. I'm going to use reverse psychology because popcorn is one of our favorite words here.
Popcorn.
And I think dollar bills are made of cotton. I think I've heard that somewhere. So I don't think, did the Chinese, I can't believe that the Chinese tried to grow cotton on the moon. I think that's ridiculous. So I think it's A, C, or D. Cotton, Chinese moon, genetic, eatable. So it's the agriculture department is trying to make edible cotton, right?
Right.
That's
Or are they not? I know that's true or false. It may
I
be.
don't know. The cotton on the moon one is so crazy that you would it's so crazy that would be the one you would go to. But I'm going to go with D.
So you're going to say that the false one is the U.S. Department of Agriculture has greenlighted a project to grow genetically modified cotton that humans can eat.
Oh, yes. I'm going to do that. I'm going to say D.
False.
Yes.
Well, I'm afraid this is going to be kind of hard to swallow, David Sheward, but they are doing that. You can't eat cotton because the seeds have little toxins in them. They're trying to make a cotton that,
Okay.
imagine if that's a food that you could feed the world with. So,
All right.
correct answer. So, we're going to roll the die. Ho, ho, ho. It comes with a number 1. So, 1 is right between Marcus and Leslie if you put all these numbers on a wheel. So I'm going to roll again. But Marcus, you don't know what I went through 2 weeks ago on this shit. So here we go. I roll again, and I come up with a number 3, which is David's number, but closest to Leslie. So Leslie, what's your answer on this?
Corn dollar bills or Chinese cotton on the moon.
Right.
Which is false.
Right. One of these 3 is...
I wrote it down and I couldn't remember it. Okay.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah.
We've had 2 A's and a B so far.
Listen, I copious notes these days, copious notes. Okay. I'm going to take into account, this is what's wrong with talking out loud when we think, because then the next person, in this case, me, I heard you say that you read about the dollar bills, so that might very well be true. So I'm going to say that the guy used popcorn for the cotton in the painting. Why not?
So you think that is not true? That's the false.
The one that's not true. I keep doing that.
Right. False.
Shit,
false. Not true. It's false. Yeah.
False. Get it in there. The Chinese did not try to grow cotton on the moon.
Is that your...
Yeah, cotton is a labor-intensive, if not machine-intensive crop anyway. Yeah, I don't think they tried to grow cotton. Why would they grow cotton on the moon? What would they use it for?
I don't know. Moon sweater.
That's it. The potatoes, like in the guy that went up to, like the Martian, I can understand it. I know, I got it, right. But there is no edible value to it, whatever that word is. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
C. I'm going with letter C.
Let's see. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm afraid. No, I could come up with some sort of joke. Or the problem with cotton grown on the moon by the Chinese is that you eat it and an hour later you're hungry for more cotton. But that's horrifying. Leslie, not the correct answer, but I maybe phrased it not something. They tried to grow cotton seeds in like this terrarium thing. Not that they were planting.
I thought they were planting it all over the moon.
Actually,
that's what I thought.
On the moon, yeah. They brought up like a geosphere thing.
I was with you. I was thinking that was ridiculous. There's no. Yes, I didn't know it was inside a thing.
So here's the deal.
You got another steal opportunity, Marcus, right?
I do. Yeah. Wow, this is. I
want to hear you work this one out. Yeah.
Okay. So it's either popcorn or dollar bills.
Right. Well, and I'm led. I don't know if misled or properly led by David's release of that information about the dollar bill. I'm also, what's brought to mind is the original, composition. It wasn't originally called the Harold Arlen song "Paper Moon" was actually written by a Chinese songwriter. It's the same melody, just different lyrics because it was before he met Yip Harburg. He, teamed up with this Chinese lyricist and they were talking about, growing cotton on the moon. And so they wrote this song, It's Only a Cotton Moon. But that's not to do.
Only a cotton moon.
It's only a cotton moon.
God, oh God, oh God, oh
Well,
God. Oh God.
and then it inspired this whole
Because
litany.
it's
There's a
got those
musical,
toxic
Shine on, cotton moon.
I got
It's
it.
only a
Yeah,
cotton moon because it's
Right.
got those toxic seeds.
Right.
But the
You got
Department of
cotton moon,
Agriculture
baby,
wants
shine. Right.
wants us to feed.
There we go.
I mean, it's just spoofalicious. So, David, you got a minute? Okay.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
All the time in the world, guy. Yeah.
So we're gonna go with. All right. My choices are: is there cotton in dollar bills, or was there cotton used in a painting? Right.
No,
Popcorn.
popcorn.
Popcorn
Popcorn.
for
I'm sorry,
cotton.
popcorn used in a
Popcorn
painting
for-
to depict cotton.
Cotton.
Oh. Popcorn used to depict cotton.
Which I can visualize.
I could, but it's a stretch because if you've seen cotton, which I know you have, it not only can take so many different shapes, but I feel like popcorn is a little bit more angular than when I think of like a cotton ball. Like I think of popcorn kernels, which I have a bag I'm going to eat later today, that it's like a Himalayan sea salt, like the pink sea salt. But the popcorn kernels, it's it's got shape and definition, and cotton is more like a warm fuzzy to me. I mean, except when it's woven into everything, especially the food that we eat, but not popcorn. I didn't put cotton in popcorn yet. Cotton.
Yeah, there is no popcorn in popcorn.
There's no popcorn in popcorn. When did they change
No.
that?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So my powers of deduction have led me to this painting, Mishigas. They never used popcorn to depict cotton. What artist in their right mind, except for like Degas or something, right? I don't know who would use popcorn to depict cotton. That's never been done.
You mean Degas or Dali? Which do you?
Hello,
Paint.
Dolly.
If you knew Degas like I knew Degas.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
God. Oh God, really a sigh. I pushed it to the side. That's what I go for. That's my
Or is that
yes,
your
final answer. There's no popcorn painting of cotton.
Well, by the way, when I was conceiving this idea, I didn't think of this. I mean, it was popped popcorn to look like cotton when they
Yeah.
But you are correct, Marcus. I completely made that up. Or at least Harvey Kahlenberg, who is an actual painter, he once made a job. What did he do? He draws faces and shapes on popcorn.
Oh.
So he takes little popcorn kernels and paints faces on them. So
That's lovely.
that's what he actually does, but he hasn't made like a giant mural with popcorn all over it. Money, dollar bills are 75% cotton, 25% linen. So there isn't actually any paper and money at all, even though it's paper money.
Wow.
They were trying to grow these seeds on the moon, but the temperature dropped so precipitously overnight that it just died after a couple of days. The biosphere got too cold. And finally, as I said, cotton seeds are traditionally poisonous, so they're trying to undo that.
Did you
Yeah.
say there's linen in
25% linen.
Yeah.
linen?
In a dollar bill. Because if there weren't, if paper were made, if money were made of paper, every time it rained, you would just get a handful of mush.
yeah.
Really, no, I'm not joking. That's an actual
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. So, by the way, Marcus,
Yes.
one thing I didn't tell you when this game started. I'm going to tell you now.
You've just congratulations. You own a property in Florida.
It's like a 100-game
Sign
Squid
here.
Game kind of thing. Now it turns deadly.
Now you find out, right?
Yes. You
We
have a
generally
child.
warn all our new contestants that if you don't get any points, the questions are ridiculous. Don't feel bad. There's nothing. And a lot of times, new contestants get no points at all. You not only you are in the lead with 4 points, which is quite amazing. So well
I had
done
help.
so far.
I had help. You were all very patient.
Yeah.
No, you think the way we do. I don't know about. I'm saying that I'm including you, David, but I think he thinks the way we do. So,
And part of the fun.
assuming that you think that I think the way you do.
I think that you think that I
Yeah.
think the same.
Well, I think that you think that I think that
Once Vicky suggests everyone take a little nap.
Yeah, little short snooze while I remind people that you're watching Dave.
Word from your sponsors. I think that's a good idea.
Well, I'm not allowed to mention the sponsors now because we're on. We put this on TV, and we put this on Optimum. We have excerpts of the show that air on our local cable channel on Tuesday nights.
Oh,
And
fun.
if I start mentioning places like Hewlett Minuteman Press, who happen to be the copy kings of you, I'm not saying that you should go patronize them for your printing and copying. Don't.
Right.
Don't. I'm just mentioning them as opposed to plugging them. But just so you know, they exist. They do. Anyway,
Did you happen to watch the Only Murders in the Building?
I don't get that service. I would love to know. I want to with Steve
Well,
Martin and
they have a podcast that is sponsored by Nathan Lane, playing a guy named Teddy Dimas, and Teddy Dimas is the Chicken King, and so it's called Teddy Dimas Chicken Supreme Podcast about the murders in the building. And it gets mentioned on Jimmy Fallon when they make fun of it. This is all in the show.
Right, yeah.
And they go up, he summons them. I mean, he's giving them money for this. And it's Martin Short and Steve Martin. So they're summoned to Teddy's magnificent abode in this, Upper West Side condo thing. And they figure that Teddy's going to pull the plug and that's going to be the end of it. And he goes, you guys, you got me on Jimmy Fallon. And he writes him a check for $50,000. And he says, whatever you want, just keep it going. So that's what you get for mentioning without actually pushing.
Yeah, no, that is why I'm renaming this whole program the Massengill Disposable Douche Dave's Gone By episode of the air. Just, because they do make a fine product.
Which you can personally vouch for. You have drunk many a quart of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, it tastes great and it goes down easy. I don't even know what that means. We have
David, what I could say there, but I won't. Because my mother raised a lady. I don't know where she went, but my mother raised a lady.
Well, this lady is only 2 points behind our leaderboard.
Not behind now, Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus is in the lead.
We were nice to you. We welcomed you into our little group, and now you're leading, huh?
Oh
my gosh!
I've forgotten what are we in round 27? I don't know
what day is it.
Yes, it is December 4th still, 2021.
What's going on? Are we there yet?
Yeah. We're calling this episode Spun Gold in honor of
like a cross-country trip.
But we're still in the midst of the second round. We have one more question in the second round that will go. This is amazing. Marcus, you can expand on your lead if you get
son of a bitch.
Great. And you're going to love this. You're going to like this question too. Here we go. In fact, I love this question. Are you ready for it? It's a multiple choice.
Okay, now
here we go. The year was 1928.
I remember.
We're still playing the game.
Did you really just ask me about 1928? I love 1928. I'm serious. Go ahead.
Well, you're going to like this question. Opening today at Broadway's New Amsterdam Theater, Whoopee, featuring Eddie Cantor.
Yes.
Is that a song that you do, by the way?
Eddie Cantor, a huge connection.
Cool.
Yeah, big connection. Hungry women. Anyway, go ahead.
Which of these was not an early name for what would become the whoopee cushion? A, poo-poo cushion. B, talking pillow. C, raspberry cushion. D, boop-boop-a-doop.
Okay. So what I love about 1928 is so much of the music that was written that year. And I mean, you got so many great songs. I actually did a show, Songs of 1928, and so I studied a bit of 1928 for a good period of time. And so I'm now, and I remember reading about the whoopee cushion because it came out that year. That was the year that I think the whoopee cushion, I want to say, it came out. It was a headline or something major about the whoopee cushion, so the poo-poo. All right, maybe I should jot a note down here. The poo-poo.
The poo-poo cushion.
The poo-poo cush is what they really called it.
Talking pillow.
The talking pillow, which is what I call my girlfriend sometimes.
Oh! Whoa!
No,
Oh dear.
late night conversations. It's like all like the heaviest
Oh.
stuff sometimes is like right at night. It's like, I know you're tired, it's been a long day, me too, but can we talk about this one thing? And I was like, I love you, I really do. In like 7 hours, let's talk about it. The third one is the
The
whoop, whoop,
raspberry
whoopie do.
cushion.
Oh, the ras. Yeah, it's definitely that was a consideration. And then you had the boop boopy doo.
Boop, boop, excuse me, boop boop a doop.
Boop boop a doop.
Yes,
As
that's
opposed to
A
boop
pillow
boop.
or a cushion on that last one.
What happened?
raspberry cushion.
No,
Ra-
letter D. The boop
Oh, I'm
boop
sorry.
boop cushion or pillow.
Just boop boop a doop. Boop boop a
Okay,
doop.
Doop.
thank you. Just
Not boop boop
asking.
Yeah,
be
yeah.
doop. It's boop boop a doop.
Yes,
Right?
boop boop a doop.
Boop boop.
As opposed to several dupes. Yes, just
Right.
boop boop a dupe. Yeah.
Okay, so as I cycle through um, the time period, you know, the guy who invented sliced bread, there's a thing that happened with the machine that sliced bread in 1928. Look
Was
that
there
one
really?
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun fact for next week. But it.
David.
Good job, David. What's up? I'm almost there.
Is David okay?
Yeah, he'll be
I
fine.
need to call somebody.
Oh, so it was a
Hold
poop
on,
poop
wait a
cushion.
second.
And so the question, you want to know which one of these was not a consideration for the name, right?
Right. One of these was not. The others were all not just
David.
you know, actually names given for them
They
used
were
at some point.
used.
Yeah, yeah.
So you want to know who never said, like who never like you want to know the phrase that no one ever used, no one ever said, right?
Right.
Okay.
In
I
the
think,
early years of the whoopee cushion.
I think it was never called a boop boop a doop.
Is
I
that-
jumped to my answer quicker than I wanted to for David Sheward.
No, but please, if you feel you know you're
No, I wouldn't dare. I mean, no, I won't. But I mean, no, I won't. Go ahead, hit your drums. Give me the final answer. It's never been called a boop boop a doop.
I'm afraid you have been duped on that answer. It really was called at some point a boop boop a doop. So we have a steal opportunity.
Was that in honor of Betty Boop at that point?
I
She had a
honestly,
lot of gas. She did. That was a well-known fact.
did she really? Yeah.
It's a well-known fact because she ate too many mushrooms.
Yeah.
David Sheward.
Don't act like
I
you
just
didn't know
rolled.
that.
I just rolled a 4. So
Ah.
this is yours to steal.
All right. Brother. No. Okay. All right. So what?
David, don't do that when I just drink coffee. I'll do a spit take on my computer. Please don't do that.
So the
Please
question.
keep doing that, David. Yeah.
So it's which of these was not under consideration as an alternate, as a possible title for the Whoopee
Not
Cushion?
not only just an alternate. It was called several things in the early years. These were actual names,
Okay,
except
so
You may have to
All
repeat
right,
the
so
question.
what-
He was
so-
sleeping on the couch before.
So boop boop a doop. What was that? A, B, C, or D?
that was D. And
D.
it was
Okay.
incorrect. In other
All right,
words,
this-
it really was a name for
And
them.
we've had 3 A's and a B, David.
That's right. All right. So tell me the ones that are remaining again.
Remaining A
Romanian?
is remaining. A poo poo cushion.
Whoopee
B
Cushion,
talking pillow.
talking pillow.
Raspberry cushion.
I think raspberry cushion was used. I would imagine because that's the sound. Poo poo. Now it may be before this is 1927, right?
28.
28.
28.
Big
So maybe
difference, yeah.
before, you know, the poo poo platter was very popular. So
It gave me a lot of phlegm, actually.
I think okay. So I think raspberry was used. So either poo poo or talking pillow, huh?
Right. By the way, 1920. Let me be clear about this. 1928 was when Whoopi with Eddie Cantor opened on Broadway.
Yes.
It isn't necessarily the year that the whoopee cushion was invented or anything like that.
Something similar was used. Oh, it's got nothing to do with the 20s.
It has nothing to do. It was the show was
well,
called
that's
Whoopee.
confusing. I was going by that.
I got
too.
it. Got
Thank
it.
you,
got it,
David.
got it. All right, I'm going to say the talking pillow.
What made you go with that one?
Well, that's B, right?
Correct.
Okay, we've had 3 A's, so I'm going to go with the B.
Final answer?
I love the logic of this.
Talking pillow it is.
Yes, finally.
Well done, David Sheward on the board. Yes, I made that one up. It was
The
never.
system finally works.
Well done. Well
The
done,
system
David.
works. The system works.
Wait,
Called
it
mess
works
up-
because we've had 3 A's, so now we're gonna have 3 B's? Is that, I should just say?
No,
B?
I'm just saying C, I'm pretty sure was one of the, raspberry was one of them. So that left A or B, and we had 3
And you
A's.
knew it wouldn't be like another.
I picked
I
B.
was thinking like a fly on the wall in the room coming up with the name, and they're going Talking Pillow. No, that's boring. Nobody's gonna buy anything called Talking Pillow. Come up with something, and then they would keep going on, poo poo. No, that sounds like, we can't.
It sounds
do
like
that.
Chinese.
Right. All right.
But
Well,
that isn't what happened. I was looking at 1928 too. Let's move on. Okay.
let's move on. Yes, we have a cool game now because we got Marcus ahead at 4 points, but Leslie and David tied at 2. Moving into round 3, it's anybody's game. Anybody can take.
By the way, sliced bread. Do you see what I did to my? Can you see what I did to my finger?
Oh,
Slicing bread.
wow.
It only stopped bleeding this morning. This happened 2 days ago. I
Thank
was
you for
doing this
sharing.
thing like with a bagel, and I know better, and I'm holding it in my hand, and you're not supposed to, and I know better,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I got a nice sharp knife, so there you go.
Oh,
Luckily, I didn't lose the tip of my finger. I still have it,
Yes.
You do look
and
very
my nail polish is intact. So
I like
Oh,
the
win-win.
color today. You look very nice.
What?
The mauve color is very attractive.
the
I
the
like
the,
it, yeah.
the mauve, the
Like
color.
mauve.
That's not a
Oh,
mauve.
everybody thinks it's a faded red denim jacket, and everybody thinks it's pink. Now you think it's mauve. I think it's so funny. It's like a Rorschach test. What color is this?
You do black and white or something. I like the
Yeah,
color.
no, it's very fetching. It's very
Well,
very.
merci beaucoup. Everybody likes it on me, which I think is very nice.
And Marcus, the gray
Evidently it's
brown is very
flattering.
fetching on you as well.
Spasiba.
I like Marcus's hat. I have the same one hanging up on my door, but I look silly in it. You
Still
look great.
wear a hat.
Hat.
Okay.
Where is it?
Oh, come on. That's my song, man. That's my jam. I
Yeah,
did
you were
that.
Joanne, so
That's
yeah.
what we were talking about earlier. I was rewatching, the Sondheim tribute with the women in red when they take turns singing stanzas of Ladies Who Lunch, and Patti LuPone gets the one about does anyone still wear a hat, and she tosses a look to Elaine Stritch, who's sitting there wearing a hat. She's in a red pantsuit. It was hysterically funny. It was so funny. It was like incredible.
Wait, this wasn't the one with
Sorry.
Meryl Streep and
Yes,
was
all of
part
them.
that was
No,
one.
that was part of the 90th birthday. That was on.
Yeah.
That was a different one.
I'll tell you who still wears a hat. This is very exciting to me, ladies and gentlemen.
A potato hat?
Just came in the mail.
Oh, dear.
You didn't buy that potato that guy dug up, did you? Oh,
It's a new potato.
Look at
Look at
him. He looks so cute.
What was that, David? I missed that.
I was trying a new hat.
Oh,
Oh,
everybody duck. No, all right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get on to our
Marcus is wearing a hat.
I am.
Our
Yeah.
marathon today, yesterday quiz
You
here.
heard about the
All
guy
right.
who walked into the doctor's office with a duck on his head, right?
Yeah.
And the duck says, "Hey, doc, can you get this guy off my ass?"
Ho
Yeah.
Can I
Or-
say ass
or-
on your program? I'm sorry, I should have asked first.
You can totally say ass.
Or a rabbi walks into a bar with a frog on his head,
Yeah.
and the bartender says, "Where'd you get that?" And the frog says, "Brooklyn. There's hundreds of them."
Very
Wow, look at your hat.
good. Okay, yes.
oh yeah, wow.
Yeah.
My grandfather, I just came up with some, I gave all of my grandparents' vaudeville stuff to the New York Public Library's vaudeville collection, but I kept copies. And when I was looking for my picture
Just
from
in
company,
case.
I came up, sorry?
I said, just in case.
Yeah, well,
Said
no,
it like it
absolutely.
was a spy
Well,
case.
no, because I wanted to have copies. I framed them,
Oh, of course.
but I lost a batch of them, which I found when I was looking for the company picture. And
You've
Yes.
just muted yourself.
Leslie.
You muted yourself.
Ask her to unmute. Do it on Zoom.
You're muted. I just met a girl who is muted.
Her name was Helen Keller. She
And-
looked kind of like a feller. Yeah, all right.
Fix your hat more.
Helen Keller was quite beautiful for her time.
Yeah.
She was
Who?
quite beautiful.
Oh, I know. I'm just making.
There was a luminosity to her.
And she,
Okay. Getting back to I found 2 pictures of my grandfather in 2 different comedy acts. And I know that they were comedy acts because he had a conversation with my brother. I mean, they're all gone. We don't know anything about them. Except for we found 2 ads for them and a review. We found those unbelievably. 1917, something like that. Oh yeah. Anyway, the point of the story is that my grandfather probably told that joke, and I don't remember what the joke was now
About the
because
rabbis.
it's so long since you started it.
Great joke, yeah.
It was a great joke. Oh, the doctor, it's the old Weber and Fields, the thing about walking into the doctor's office. I got it now. Enter, yes, okay, I got it. Never mind. It's all done.
It is.
I just had a wonderful chat with myself. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are into the 3rd round of, yes, we're playing a quiz
You
here.
look like you're ready for a roundup.
I thought you were going to say the 3rd decade.
Or the 3rd hour at least.
Like the long trailer, the long quiz show.
Yeah.
Leslie Hoban Blake, you.
It's mine. Give it to me.
I beg your pardon. You begin our 3rd round.
Don't beg.
With a question.
Hey, I managed to live through this. That's in itself could be a point. Yes, David, I said it.
Still here. Okay, so Leslie, you get this question. Which is 3 clues in the news?
Fuck you.
What'd she say?
You know what she said.
Oh, no, she didn't.
Talk about a poor
Why don't you
sport.
just say that to me?
Talk about a poor sport.
You know perfectly well why I'm saying that. You never mind. Let's go on.
Let's have the
Moving
words.
along.
Let's have the words.
Yeah, okay.
Hear the
So,
words.
Leslie,
Yes.
these are the 3 words that are connected to the word that we are looking for in
Sure.
the news. Okay, here we go. Words are comma, university,
Nikki said it's the 3rd day.
a chump.
Comma.
A chump, it's 2 words. A chump.
Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
Comma,
Okay.
university, a chump.
A chump. A chump.
Or
I know what it means. I can't put any words to it.
A chump.
Yeah, or
Chump. CHUMP.
One
Chump.
word.
Okay.
Yeah, we're seeking
2
one
words.
word
But-
connected to those 3.
But a chump is 2 words.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
A
that
chump.
was what
A
was
chump.
confusing.
A chump.
Okay.
And they're connected, and
Because I did so well on the last one. I don't even have a thought on this one. I'm like,
What were the other words?
comma, university, and a chump.
Comma.
Mhm.
University. This is very hard.
That's a
Okay,
word.
here's my answer. Please watch our Stephen Sondheim salute on YouTube. It's
Yeah.
under Critic Circle. We did a nice one, I thought. Anyway,
Critic Circle is the YouTube channel where you can watch Leslie Hoban Blake and Charlie Gross talk about the theater review shows, and as she said, also do a Sondheim tribute. So,
well, we did a salute because everybody else did a tribute, so we decided to do a salute.
Oh, such a difference.
So Leslie, I'll put it in the chat.
no, Joyce is going to put that in the chat as we speak.
Yes, please. Thank you, Joyce.
So is that your answer, Leslie Hoban Blake, or do you
Yeah,
want
I totally. I'm not a thought in the world. Nothing comes. I could do this for an hour, and we want to move along. So I'll let
comma,
you all go.
university, a chump, watch the Sondheim tribute that
Right.
Leslie and Charlie. So,
Salute.
okay, we're going to roll the die and see who's there. We have the number 3. 3 is David Sheward's number. David Sheward, you can try and steal this question.
Okay,
All right.
for the home team, David.
Okay, the only thing I can think of is Oxford.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well done, David Sheward. You are tied
Wow.
for the lead now with Marcus. Oxford for Oxford, comma, which is that 3rd one in a series. Oxford University, And the tough one was A Chump
Chump at Oxford with the guys. Yes,
with
okay.
Laurel and Hardy. Yeah. There's the name of one of their
Oh, was that
main
okay?
movies.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
It had to be.
When you said Oxford, I thought you were insane, but you were right.
I thought, what else could it be?
Oxford.
And I just now was looking on
Oh.
Facebook, is now where this kid in Michigan shot up people. It's the Oxford Tigers or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh.
Oxford High School in
Oxford High
Michigan,
School.
where the
Oh,
four people
really?
died.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
So there you go.
Wow.
But David Sheward,
Great.
well done,
Yeah.
getting
Ding
points off that terrible
dong,
tragedy. Well,
David, give him a ding dong.
ding dong, David.
You get
You
3
get it.
points for that. That's amazing. That was a
Yeah.
hard one.
Well,
That was really
it's the
hard.
it was the Oxford comma that gave it to me.
Yeah.
I think where the points.
I was
go.
thinking
wouldn't
about
have
the
known
emojis, but I
Oxford-
couldn't come up with anything that would fit. They picked the 5 top emojis today. So go
Did they
ahead.
really? What are they weird?
The crying face, the crying laugh face, the laughing with tears, the
Yeah.
heart, the laughing with the crying with tears,
Probably the poop.
And
the
poop has to
thumb,
be still in there.
and the thumb, and then the tears coming out of your eyes like little waterfalls.
Poop isn't in there. Poop isn't one of
No.
them.
No, my son gave me that for my birthday. Remember, I showed you the shirt.
Yeah.
He made me a whole poop themed. It was such a rotten year that he gave me a poop
Thank you.
themed birthday. Everything, the card, the cake, was the yeah, I know. No, we had the cute little poop with googly eyes on it. He made it cute at least.
Aw. Anywho, we have, as I said, a tie game between David Sheward and Marcus, but
Wow.
David gets to try and
Is
break.
this like a marathon?
I know. It's noon. It's noon already. The show's supposed to be ending now.
Okay, all right.
American,
Well, let's
this
go
is a
on.
little
Let's,
longer.
Yeah, here we go.
Make a time limit next time. That's all. It's your fault, not ours.
It's the third iteration, or no, what am I saying? We're in the third round
Okay.
with David getting this question directly, and this is not a multiple choice. This is
Okay.
you either know it or you don't. The
All
year
right.
was 1931. Born today in Oakland, California, is this future radio and television host. A staunch conservative and Reaganite, he was the self-proclaimed father of combat TV, with guests arguing, screaming, and in one case overturning his desk. But not everything was ugly about this man on the hot seat. He was also the father of Rebecca De Mornay. Name that host with 2 first names.
Oh, wait a minute. Robert. No, it's not Robert Downey Jr. I can see his face. And it's not Gary Springer. What's his name?
Oh, David did a Theater Memories of Part 14 of Sondheim? Oof.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, let me see. What's his name? It's not. And he had these followers, and they were called Ditto Heads, I think. What's his name? It's not Morton Downey Jr. It's not Gary Springer. It's not Connie Chung's husband. Whatever his name was. Oh God, what was his name? Not Morton. Downey Jr. What was his name?
When did the show air? Can we ask
Yeah,
that
when
question?
Do you have that in the clues?
It's not in the clue. I'm willing to.
What's in the 80s or the 90s? I
Yeah.
think. I can't think of his name, and I hated him. He was just so annoying.
Oh, I know who it is. No?
Wait a minute. I can see his face. It's not Gary Schneider, who had the Tomorrow Show. He was annoying too.
That's Tom Snyder. Yeah.
Tom Snyder. What's his name? Downey Jr. Gary something. Gary Rob. I think it's Robert something. Robert Downey Jr. I know that's wrong, but I can't think of the real name.
That's what I guess too.
I'm afraid I have to vote you Downey with that answer.
Okay.
David Sheward, that is not correct. So we have a steal opportunity. I'm going to roll the die. It comes up with number 2. Leslie, that is your direct number.
Okay. you gave a clue in the context of that. You said he had 2 first names.
Right.
His name is like Robert Anthony or whatever. It would be like 2 first names. Okay. And he's a shock jock.
Mm-hmm. And on TV.
Born in 1931 would make him 90 now.
If
So
he's
he's no
still
longer
alive.
doing
It
that.
doesn't
Was he,
necessarily.
wait. Was he on TV or radio? Hold on.
Both. I'll read the question
Oh,
again.
TV and radio.
Born
Okay.
today in Oakland, future radio and television host, a staunch conservative and Reaganite. He was the self-proclaimed father of combat TV.
I don't know why you said that it wouldn't be Morton Downey. Oh, because Downey is not, okay, Morton and Downey. Downey is not a first name. Okay.
And also, not everything was ugly about this man on the hot seat. He was also the father of Rebecca De Mornay.
Right. Gotcha. But I don't know who her father was. So that while that helps, it doesn't help. Geez. So if he's 90 now, if he's still alive, then he would have been 80, 70. So we're talking about the 90s, the 80s and the 90s. Do I get it? 80s
Yeah,
and
fair
90s.
enough. Yes.
Not listening to this, probably not watching. I did watch Tom Snyder, but I didn't find him particularly right wing. I maybe I just missed it. Shit. I honestly, well, I'm trying. Let me think for another minute. TV, radio.
I put Marcus's dates and his website in,
Thank you.
in the chat too.
The fact that it was like Gary Springer in that people yelled things out. Is that the idea? The audience was very vocative.
The kids arguing,
vociferous?
screaming. Yeah, and mhm.
It sounds like a kind of show I wouldn't have watched anyway. So there's a giant void there where there should be a name.
Actually, this show.
What?
Joyce is saying it's actually this show. Yeah.
Oh.
Which is also a giant void.
No.
Is that the name of the show?
Well, Jack Parr didn't have 2 first names. Steve Allen did, but he was anything but right wing. And I don't know if people answered from the audience on Steve Allen. What's his name? Dick Cavett was certainly a liberal, if not a libertarian. And none of those people. Well, Steve Allen had 2 first names, but he doesn't fit the rest of the profile.
That was my problem. I was like, oh, first name, Steve Allen.
Yeah, right.
I was like, no, nothing else.
And also, Steve Allen's much earlier than that.
Right.
Steve Allen was probably born in the 20s. I just think this shows where my I know a lot of crap, but I don't think I know this particular piece of crap.
Who would know that, David? It's too esoteric.
Is it? You looked it up?
I look it up.
Oh, yeah. All right. No, Joyce cheated, but you guys can't.
Well,
I can
wait a minute. I'm going to look it up. Wait a second.
I can visualize him, but I can't remember the name.
You can actually see him. Describe him to me. Maybe I'll get his name that way.
I think so.
Describe him.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Stakes are too high.
I thought for a second you might just do it. I used my teacher voice, like, tell me what you think. All right. Anyway, I have no idea. I really have no idea. I mean, I've given you all my guesses, and they're all not right because they're not guesses.
Right.
They're eliminations, but
eliminations.
That's a word we haven't used yet,
yeah.
David. Right? Yeah. Dave Lefkowitz. Okay. So drum me out and see what Marcus can come up with.
Oh yeah.
So Marcus, I don't think you know this one either, but you can certainly take a guess.
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
Excuse me. You don't think I know this one?
Well,
the angriest guy. There was one episode where I remember there was a guest that flipped the desk over.
Yeah, I remember.
This guy. I mean, come on, David. Remember?
Oh, really? Oh, no.
You do remember? I think you know who the guy is, but do you know the name?
So I'm thinking about the angry TV hosts that I watched growing up. I didn't watch a lot of TV growing up. So in the 80s, I'm kind of like I don't know. Maybe it was like back whatever was on, right? And my parents, they always had the news on, and so there was before 24-hour news cycles. So angry TV, I remember seeing a show called Crossfire. I don't know if that's still on. Crossfire, they had these massive debates, and it was usually like a political thing, and they'd shout across the table at each other, and it was kind of ridiculous and probably got ratings. And then there was another pretty contentious TV host that I would offer, but he doesn't have two first names, and I don't remember the Crossfire host. Was Pat Buchanan one of them? Was he? But I'm thinking this out loud. Larry King comes to mind, but it's not two first names. They were pretty contentious. But
if you're a dog.
What's that?
If there's two first names for a dog, that actually works. You're King. Yeah.
Or maybe it's actually King Larry is what it. Anyway, I met Larry King once. I was coming out of the showers at the Friars Club, and that was a funny moment.
Wait, all right, hold it. Hold.
No, we don't have time.
Why were you showering at the Friars Club?
That's what I do after I worked out there. I'm a member of Friars Club. Maybe I should have led with that.
I didn't know they had a weight room, or I thought it was just a place where you ate and food.
I never saw anybody younger than 75 at the Friars, so who the hell uses this?
When I joined,
I would go and for lunch, and Soupy Sales would be there, for God's sakes, eating lunch.
Soup, Yeah. So wait, but can you, any story about Larry King? I mean, was he nice? Was he?
A story about meeting Larry King coming out of the showers? None that I can tell on this program. I'm kidding. Very nice man, a mensch, a very nice menschman. No, it was very cordial. It was nice. It was
okay, yeah.
But angry TV host. I'm blanking on this first name completely. I was hoping something would come to me. I'm so glad again that David and Leslie are both a little stumped too.
David Lefkowitz, will you give him 1 point if he has part of the name?
No.
I don't want charity.
No.
No charity.
Wow, I guess I was tempted.
You were going to do that. You were going to do that? All right.
Ignorant slut is Vicky's favorite retort.
Jane, that's from the first season of Saturday.
Listen, you're leading anyway. I was just wondering if it was possible to do that, but go ahead.
How many points is this question worth? 500?
Same two as anybody.
If you give me a clue and I get it right, then they each get a point.
No.
It doesn't. No.
It's not going to matter. Bruce George. Everyone knows the great TV host Bruce George. He got very heated on his Thursday night programming. It was on a short-lived TV network, LMQ. I don't know.
Is that your final answer?
Of course, Bruce George, the great TV host, Bruce George.
What's actually and completely coincidental and weird is that you're half right. The guy's name was Wally George.
Wally George.
You ever hear?
I never
heard of him.
I've heard of that. That's something totally different.
Yeah,
Wally
George.
Than what I thought.
The thing is,
okay.
His real name was George Walter Perch, by the way. But Wally George was the name that he used. He was mostly in California, but he did go national for a while. And it was really the beginning of. Actually, you can trace January 6th back to the Wally George show. In the sense of the audience waving American flags and screaming, and the guests hollering, and him, with an American flag background and yelling at guests, and it was all theater. It was
screaming Jews will not replace us. Is that the idea?
I don't know about that part, but I'm just saying this right-wing conservative Yahoo-ism, and just shouting everybody else down, but doing it in such a ridiculous way.
Not unlike us on this little group here, working to try to get a point or two. So where are we point-wise? Have we finished this round? Was that just my question? Where did we go from?
Here we go. First of all, Joyce is saying, David, it's good that you are in your pajamas since it's already nighttime now.
I think it's Marcus's turn, right?
Yes, in the evening portion. This is the evening dress portion of the.
So wait a minute. So that's the last question in this round.
This is the last question of the.
And the score, such as it is what?
The score is
leading.
Here's the deal. We have a two-way tie between David and Marcus with 4 points each. Leslie has 2 points. So depending on how this question goes, if you get this question right, you actually win the game. If you don't, and David steals it, he can win the game. If he doesn't and Leslie steals it, she ties up the game, and we have a 3-way tie. So a lot is riding on this question. Marcus, are you ready?
Oh, I'm so
No pressure there, Marcus.
I'm gonna go on.
feel
The
it.
year
Great.
was 1954. Right in your wheelhouse here. Okay.
Okay.
Multiple
Old Cape
choice.
Cod. Got it. Oh, that was
Opening today, December 4th, in Miami, following the near failure of Insta Burger King, the renamed Burger King fast food restaurant debuts. Which of these is false about Burger King? A. Japan has made it a recurring tradition to serve Whoppers with both the buns and cheese dyed black. B. When she was 5 years old, Sarah Michelle Gellar was named in a lawsuit that McDonald's put up against Burger King. C. Burger King is part of the same parent company that owns Applebee's and IHOP. Or D. There are no Burger Kings in Australia.
Wow.
One of these
wow.
is
Fantastic.
false. The rest are true.
Fantastic. Great job on that
Thank you,
question. So there's a lot to chew on.
Oh,
What?
Heyo.
Too soon? All right. So I've got
I have it your way.
I'm a left I'm a lefty, and so like when you write fast, like I'm messy when I'm writing slowly. Now you got me writing fast. It looks like hieroglyphics with water stains. So, all right, I've got.
That's my underpants.
I literally have the first thing I wrote down looks like Pied Piper, but painted black. Is that what it was? Painted.
Yeah.
Black?
I'll read them again.
Yes, painted black.
Japan.
He would go for the song title part of it, right?
I see my burgers and I want them painted.
Painted
So
black.
the Whoppers had the buns and the cheese dyed black in Japan as a recurring
Right.
thing. B, when she was 5 years old, Sarah Michelle Gellar was named in a lawsuit that McDonald's put up against Burger King. C, Burger King is part of the same parent company that owns Applebee's and IHOP. Or D, there are no Burger Kings in Australia.
That's a good
Right,
one.
right. There's no crying in baseball and no Burger Kings. Wow. Okay. Well, well, well. This is a mouthful. That's my last one, I promise. Well, I don't promise. There'll probably be others. All right. So painted the burgers and the cheese. They dyed them black. That's black cheese.
Right.
No one would dye cheese.
Didn't Richard Roundtree play him? No, I don't.
Black cheese. I like black cheese. I never would eat black cheese. Burgers. I've eaten a black burger. Maybe they would do that, a marketing campaign. And you said that was in where?
Japan.
Japan. Interesting. Sarah Michelle Gellar was a young child and part of a lawsuit against or just involving Burger King
Burger King and McDonald's.
and McDonald's. So what happened? She sued McDonald's, or she sued who? Sued who?
The question, the answer, when she was 5 years old, Sarah Michelle Gellar was named in a lawsuit that McDonald's put up against Burger King.
Ah, okay. So McDonald's put up against Burger King and somehow she got involved. All right, random. So then the other one is that Burger King is part of the big parent company. Totally believable. No clue about if they're together or not. And then Burger King's in Australia. Okay. These questions make you feel like Watson, right? And like you're Sherlock, maybe. And
Stays up for the whole week doing these questions.
I
Yeah.
can tell. I can tell these are so well researched, and there's no obvious to me so far. None of these questions have an obvious. Oh, it couldn't be that. Right? Please agree. Anyway,
I do. I could
course
craft
you agree.
ridiculous ones like on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, and that would be fun, but then it would sort of be like, everybody would get them too easily.
Right. Well, thinking about having a cheeseburger dyed black, I seriously, for health reasons, for marketing reasons, I'm trying to think if that would be a plausible concept. Sarah Michelle Gellar, maybe. You tied a year to it. Is the year important? 1954? Is that important? Or
No,
just
it's like the whoopee cushion one. No,
that's like a misleading. It's
That was where we started. That's not
Right.
where we wound
that's
up.
not
Yeah.
like the whoopee cushion one.
Well, clearly
That was the year Burger King started, so that's what gets the question going.
got it.
This date
Certainly.
in
Certainly.
1954.
Okay, Burger King's in Australia. No reference point for that. Never been. Though, if would they do it? Of course, I think they would do it anywhere. But maybe the meat in Australia would feel threatened. The meat market. So maybe not. I'm gonna go with I think it's possible that McDonald's sued Burger King. I remember them all going through those lawsuits. So I'm going to say that's possible. I'm going to say it's totally possible that Burger King is part of the conglomerate IHOP and the BG's or Applebee's, whatever you said. And then it's wild in Japan to think about the burgers and the cheese being dyed black. So I think there are Burger Kings in Australia. I think that the Japanese would not go to the trouble of dyeing the burgers and cheese black, and I also think Burger King wouldn't allow it, frankly. It would be an infringement on their thing, their
Apron.
paper, their contract. That's what I
Their
think.
haute cuisine.
Exactly. I mean, they're so delicate with their flavors and their meat preparation. To dye it black would ruin everything. It's such high grade, contents. So that's my final answer is that the Japanese government and people and business industry alike would never allow or even think of dyeing their burgers and especially their delicious cheese. No way.
Final answer.
Final answer.
I'm afraid I've nipped you in the bud with this one. That is not the correct answer. So we may have an interesting game here. I'm going to roll the die. Do we get the racist nip joke there, by the way? All right, here we go.
God help us.
I thought it was just your standard nipple joke. I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes. The number comes up 5, which is closest to Marcus and second closest to David.
Okay. All right. So
Wait.
Is it?
Oh, it depends on which way you're going.
Does it? Wait, Leslie, you're 2.
I'm 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, you're 3. I'm sorry.
Going that way?
Wait.
Depends on which way you're going.
Wait.
Can you roll
5
again?
is closer to 3.
Just
It
roll
is
again.
closer to David. It's
Okay.
Oh, 5 is closer to 3. Okay, if you went
All right,
the other
all right.
way, it would be 1, 2, right?
yeah.
Oh no, there's a 6. I'm sorry. Never mind.
All right. So is it
Sorry.
the Burger King?
Tired.
What there was a suit for Burger King against McDonald's, and Sarah Michelle Gellar was involved somehow.
There was a
The other way around.
It was the other way around. McDonald's put up a lawsuit against Burger King.
And Sarah Michelle Gellar was somehow involved.
In a lawsuit, yes.
Was she in a commercial for them or something? Okay. Or Burger King is owned by Apple, the same conglomerate that owns Applebee's and IHOP, or there are no Burger Kings in Australia, which is false.
Right, which is not true, right?
I think, oh God. Okay, so let's see. We've had 2 B's, 3 A's. I'm going to go with, so I think it is owned. I'm going to go with there are no Burger Kings in Australia. Is false. There are Burger Kings in Australia.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
I'm just looking for the answer down under something. Oh, David Sheward, you almost won the game there, but you did not.
Oh, okay.
That's not the correct answer. So, oh my God, Leslie Blake, you could give us a 3-way tie if you get this answer correct. Holy crap.
How many 3-way jokes is each of you going to make while I'm doing?
None. We're just going to get to
Fine, thank you. I just want 2 seconds to
I would make a
this
bunch of
out.
3-way jokes, but I don't know if I could
It's
manage it.
Sarah Michelle. I'm not going to listen. La 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 la. Sarah Michelle Gellar or Applebee IHOP.
Let us speak.
I think it's the other way around. I think that Burger King might own Applebee's and IHOP, not that some other conglomerate owns all 3 of them. I think Burger King is a nation unto itself. What is that? Oh, good. Thanks a lot, David. I'll do that to you next time.
Well, what is it?
You
Going around.
said 2 seconds.
Oh, okay.
2 seconds.
Take me at my word. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes,
That-
Mr.
I'm gonna complete David's paradigm for today. I'm gonna say B, which would give us 3 A's and 3 B's. So I'm gonna say Sarah Michelle Gellar
Is not true.
is false.
Wow. I guess you guys can't tell which is. Wait. What was the show, Miguel? What show was he on? What?
Oh, no, she was
Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Buffy. Wasn't she
Or-
Buffy?
Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
No, she was Sabrina. I did get
Oh.
the witch joke right.
Square Pegs, wasn't she Square Pegs?
No, that was Sarah Jessica
That was
Parker.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Okay, here's the
They
deal.
same person?
Leslie, I am sorry that you did not tie the game. The incorrect answer is that Burger
It's
King
Applebee's.
is owned by Restaurant Brands International, which owns Tim Hortons and Popeyes.
Oh,
Okay.
So they're all connected, owned by. And here's the deal: in Australia, all the Burger Kings are called Hungry Jacks because of a trademark issue. There was a restaurant there already years ago called Burger King. So there's no, you can't find a Burger King, but if you go to Hungry Jack's, it's the same food.
I thought that in Australia the burgers had to be made out of lamb.
Is the Burger King that was there still there?
That's bad.
Oh, I doubt.
Thank you, Joyce.
That's very bad.
Because then, if it were, the question would be wrong because there still would be a Burger King in Australia.
Just not the Burger King that we.
I heard
know
it,
and love.
Joyce. It's okay.
yeah.
So here's the deal.
Wait, tell
or-
me. Wait. All right, not now, but maybe.
In Japan, they dye like using edible ink. You know how squid ink can make
Like squid ink, right?
Yeah. So the Japanese do it with the buns and the cheese.
Why?
Why? Because they're Japanese. Why did they attack us in Pearl Harbor? Because they're
No, but
Japanese.
there must be a reason why, or the color, or the food preference.
Or Roosevelt,
Excuse me, I'm going to do my Mr. Sulu impression. Oh my.
or
And they like black food. That is not a joke. They're used to eating certain things that are very dark in color. Apparently, it's an appealing thing in that culture. Well, think of sushi and wrapped in that dark seaweed and stuff. And,
Well, the seaweed comes that color. That's nori. That's the color it comes.
right, but most of the time, Americans don't eat food, I would figure, that is really, really black, dark color, right? Unless it's burned. If you think about it, most
Catfish.
of yeah.
Catfish.
There's nothing we eat that's actually like a blue, except like a blueberry. But like antifreeze, we don't eat blue foods.
Right, yeah. So anyway, here's the deal. Even though you're all going to play the tiebreaker for our, we're playing a yesterday game here on Dave's Gone By, which is still December 4th, 2021.
But only barely, but just barely.
Tomorrow we'll still be playing yesterday's game.
Oh, man. Here's the deal. Here's how this works, Marcus. So I'm going to read one more question. And rather than go to each of you, I read it once and you all write down the answer
Great.
on your piece of paper. And then I'll read the question again. I'll count down 3, 2, 1. And then everybody holds the answer up right against the camera so that you all hold it at the same time. And this way, you either get it or you don't. It's not a multiple choice. Okay? So, are you guys, and this is big because Marcus could win this game if he gets 2 points, or he could be tied with David. We can have a tie, or David can win the game.
I just signed up for Marcus's newsletter.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Oh, that was you. Oh, great. Thank you.
Last week, Vicky and I had a tie and against David. So
Yeah. So here it is. This is going to be, are you all excited? Are you
Yes.
all awake at this point? All right, here we
I'm too tired to be excited. Go.
go.
go. The year 1933. So, happy birthday today to this MC, born in Jackson, Tennessee, is this future disc jockey and TV host whose game show resume includes Gambit and Tic-Tac-Doe, and who took a deck of cards and made it number 7 on the Billboard charts.
Wait,
Name
slowly. Say it
that
again
MC.
slowly. Say it slowly.
I'll say it again. The year was 1933. Happy birthday to this MC who was born today in Jackson, Tennessee, future disc jockey and TV host whose game show resume includes Gambit and Tic-Tac-Doe, and who took a deck of cards and made it number 7 on the Billboard charts. Name him.
Okay.
I'll give you another moment or two. So you're going to write down your answers, and then I'll give a 3, 2, 1. I'll read the question one more time, and then we will see, oh my gosh, who has won our our super exciting game. So, David, you look ready. Leslie, you ready? You written? Marcus?
Almost.
You made us write down the answers all the time. It'd be quiet.
But it wouldn't be the show. The whole point of this is all the banter and the figuring out and the goofiness and the going to faraway places in your
So,
mind.
David Sheward, should we ask for a raise now that we know that our banter
Oh.
is the engine of this particular segment?
There it is. Yes.
Okay.
It would be like doing the Great British Baking Show without Paul Hollywood. It's, just be
I'm ready.
people
I
cooking.
think Paul Hollywood is so adorable. I have not seen the new series that has the little guy that everybody hates on the show, the bald guy from Britannia.
Yeah.
Matt Lucas? You don't like
Yeah,
him?
Matt Lucas. But I haven't seen him on the show. And friends of mine, I'm still watching the old stuff where Mary Berry is still on. So I don't know what function.
We won't give it away. Marion Barry was on the show. Anywho, all right, here we go.
All this
All right, I
deserves
will
some
read the
white
question
powder. All this deserves some white powder.
one more time. The year was 1933. Happy birthday to this MC born in Jackson, Tennessee, future disc jockey, TV host. Game show resume includes Gambit and Tic-Tac-Doe, and who took a deck of cards and made it number 7 on the Billboard charts. Name him 3, 2, 1. Hold it up right to the camera.
Probably wrong.
Thank you ever so much, Marcus. That's so sweet. No. And Leslie, no. And David Sheward, you are our winner of the...
Wow. Wink fucking Martindale.
Well, that wasn't his real middle name, but yes.
His name was Irving Finkelstein.
Wink Martin. How did you know that one, David? Which part?
From Tic-Tac-Doe.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was the only. I knew that he was the host of the newer Tic-Tac-Doe, but I never heard. What is this deck of cards thing?
Deck of cards is...
There was a song about...
Yeah, please.
No, well, it was just he named each one, and it was for a good thing, something in his life that was a good thing.
It's like
I
a
remember
soldier
the
who
song.
is playing
It
cards.
was spoken word. It wasn't singing. It was spoken
And I
word.
just remember he had this really. His first name was Wink, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, if I'd ever known it, I would have remembered it.
And by the way, he is apparently alive and well. So unlike Wally George, who died many years ago, Wink Martindale very much...
Regards to Wink. Happy birthday, Wink.
Happy
Yes.
birthday, Wink.
Yes, that's right.
Happy birthday, Wink
That's
Martindale.
Yes. Okay.
So
I
in
was telling you, like,
celebration,
Blink
I'm going to
Martindale.
watch. In celebration, I'm going to watch Buzzer and the Game Show Network all day.
There you go. Well, I think I've had enough of games for the day, but congratulations to David Sheward, who in a close match wins 6 points to Marcus's 4 and Leslie's 2 points. Well done, all of you. Really a superb job. So I will take like 1 or 2 more minutes of this segment to plug all of the stuff that you're doing. For example, Leslie Hoban Blake, you have the show Critics Circle on the YouTube channel Critics Circle that you do.
It's posted. Sondheim is posted for both of them.
Great. Well, Charlie Gross, you did a Sondheim, you said not tribute. What was the word?
We did a salute. We thought everybody was going to talk about their, the history, the historical perspective. And what we did was we went and I'm a former performer, and Charlie likes to perform. So we took from our perspective which shows are most important to us personally, and then what songs we would have liked to have sung. And I was able to throw in the one song that I actually got to sing professionally.
Lunch, yeah.
I found when I was doing this whole deep dive to find the photo, because I stepped in. I was directing another show in the theater. I had long since given up performing, but I was old enough, and I was right for Joanne. They lost their Joanne, so I was a replacement with like 4 days. So these are my notes. This is Act 1, Scene 1. These are all my notes. This is where do you sit, where do you stand. I've got my cues, and I had it with as if this were a cigarette case, and I would take a cigarette out of here and look at my next line and move my card up, and nobody knew. And I was able to get through the show. I mean, it was amazing.
Oh, that is so cool. Do you have the picture? I want to see everybody see the picture. Or do you have
it's on my phone. Go ahead.
Oh. If you get that up, I'll talk with David Sheward.
But we did not have time to put a new show up because the holidays came in, and Charlie had to go back and forth to his mother-in-law to light the candles. And so a lot of his days were taken up doing that.
Sure.
So I don't think we.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, David.
Oh yeah. So while you're doing, so I will be appearing on Critics Circle and we'll be reviewing Caroline or Change. I don't know if that's been posted yet or not.
That hasn't been posted because of that. I'm terribly sorry.
Okay. And I have a review of Colored Water on Cultural Daily and Theater Life
TotalTheater.com.
at the Public Theater. And last night I saw Mrs. Doubtfire, which opens tomorrow. My review will be coming up, and I'm working on my review of Clyde's, which will be coming up also.
I'm missing everything.
I was
What would
supposed
you
to
do?
I just want to say I was supposed to see Company this afternoon, and the time, I would have been more pressed about the time to get out of here so I could get to the show. But Patty Lapone has some kind of illness not related to COVID. So they had to postpone the critics' performances. So I will see it next week.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is going to be, let's see if we can get her. Well, tap here.
No, things happen. It says turn off my phone for saving him. No,
All right, don't worry. It's a cool photo. But David, can I ask you 2 quick questions?
Yes.
How has Colored Water opened?
Yes,
What
it
do you
has.
think of it? Is it really good? It's at the Public, you said.
Yes, it is.
1 or 2 words. Is it good?
Yeah, it's a very powerful play about the Flint water crisis, which is still going on today. They end the play by saying it has been 2,900 and whatever days since Flint, Michigan has had potable, drinkable water.
Wow.
And that's still the way it is in Flint.
Well, but the play is good. It's not just the subject matter is strong.
It is. It's a good play. It's a good play. Very good
I
performance.
asked you also about
Charlie liked it also.
one of my. Oh, there you go. Let's see it.
To this way. Move it this way. There. Yes, a little bit more. This way. There you go. There you go.
Lovely woman with the blonde.
I'm the blonde with the V-neck.
Oh, yeah, great.
That's her as Joanne and Company. My God, back in 1985.
We're standing there blowing out the candles on the cake, and in case you're curious about why we're all
Want
doing
something. So yeah. And one of my reviewers for Total Theater loved a show called Morning Sun at Manhattan Theater.
Oh.
Is it? Did you see it? Is it?
Yes, I did. It's a good. It's the performances are very, very good. The play itself is kind of it's not. It's a very about three women, 3 generations of women living.
Not so tall women. Yeah.
Not 3 tall women, regular height women.
3 not so tall women, he said.
But it's an enjoyable.
3 regular.
Edie Falco is the one I wanted to see.
But it's
I'm not
very
going to
good.
see any of this.
The performances are very good. Edie Falco, Blair Brown, and Marin Ireland.
Cool. Okay. Well, again, everybody read David Sheward, theaterlife.com.
You were so prolific this week, David. Really, that was a lot of stuff.
Salute to
Sondheim. Yes.
Yeah, my memories of Sondheim are on the David desk.
I will go look.
The blog, The David. You have to Google
I posted it in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So,
It's a good read, David. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
last but not least, certainly not least, and in second place for the quiz, Marcus Goldhaber. Marcus, couple of things. First of all, you have a website. Is it marcusgoldhaber.com?
It is.
And you're going to be at room 623 this Thursday, which is now only just a couple of hours away. No, this
The show, sorry.
Actually, I watched a show. It was great.
It was great,
It was a
yeah.
great show.
It's up on 119th Street between, I want to say, it's not Malcolm X. It's
Frederick Douglass
Frederick Douglass. Yeah, I get all those people.
and Saint Nick.
I lived on Duke Ellington, I think. I was 106th in Ellington, right?
106th is Duke Ellington Boulevard. Duke Ellington.
Oh, cool. But he's on 119.
Yeah.
You look for the little blue light that's above the word jazz.
Yeah.
This coming Thursday, 7 o'clock in the evening. Also, again, at 8:30, go see Marcus Goldhaber, his quartet, at room 623 Uptown. So, well, guys, I would love to stay and chat another 5 hours with you, but this has been absolutely, there's been a whole...
Why do I not believe you, David? Dave, why do I not believe you?
No, I thought this was a delight. And Marcus, you are welcome. Yes. Please come back and play the game and come up with more convoluted. Yeah.
When you have another weekend to spend, Marcus, nothing else to do.
If you do come down with COVID, this is the place.
Hold on.
It was lovely meeting you.
Let me cancel everything and I'll come back. For
If
one.
avocado shuts down the world, you can always...
Yeah, then we will have all the time. No, but seriously, you've been an absolutely great guest with Rabbi Sol, and just a delight to play the game with you. We really, really do want you back.
Thank you.
And
This
I
was
hope you
fun.
will.
Let me know anytime. I'd love to.
Wonderful. Guys, I've got to let you go in my usual way, one by one on Zoom. So just keep doing the bye-bye thing, and I'll let you all go. Thank you all so much. And
He was
Leslie, have a wonderful...
terrific. I enjoyed him a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.